The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The iRacing Drivers Association brings round 4 of its GT3 World Championship to Brazil, the birthplace of the Bossa Nova. The phrase literally means new trend. With 3 different winners in each of the first 3 events, a new trend could mean somebody earning a second checkered flag. 35 drivers have pre-qualified to continue their quest for the season crown and the 1,000 Australian dollars that goes with it. And every second of qualifying and racing from Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace will be brought to you live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Bom dia and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to the Green. I'm Bill Soups on. Helping me call the action is the Australian State's Richard Losfer. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is Amjed Yaman, and at his disposal are the camera locations provided by the one and only Dougie Beard. It is a gray morning here near the city of São Paulo. The air temperature is 29 degrees Celsius under overcast skies. And with no sun beating down on the track, the temperature on the track is the same as the air, and that being 29 degrees Celsius. The drivers have their Audis, Mercedes, McLarens, and Fords on the track right now, finishing up the final 10 minutes of practice before the 25-minute open qualifying session that will grid the 90-minute main event race that immediately follows. And GSRC's coverage of all the proceedings is made possible thanks to the good folks at This is Australia Migration Services, providing professional migration advice and visa services for anyone seeking to come to or stay in Australia. For expert advice and assistance with your Australian visa matters, contact them at thisisaustralia.com. Now, if you were with us last time for round 3, you saw the doubleheader format in action unique to the IDA. First up was the 80-minute heat from Silverstone, and Luis Paulo Gallen went wire-to-wire, besting Zachary Hanlon by 8 seconds. Point leader Simon Fagel qualified second, but a mistake dropped him to 18th by the time he crossed the finish line the first time around. A slow climb through the field made him the man to watch as he worked his way back up to claim third place. The drivers then went to Lime Rock for the second 80-minute heat, where the fans saw a second wire-to-wire win, this time by Richard Hampstead. Couple that win with the Silverstone 5th earned Green Eggs a second-place share of the championship points. Gallen, who won the Silverstone heat, followed Hampstead the entire second heat, but a win and a second was enough to get Gallen the overall win for the day. Simon Fagel followed up a Silverstone third with a Lime Rock third, enough to earn him the point leader a third-place share of the points. Now, Richard, for round 3, when it came to the track description, you had double duty, with both Silverstone and Lime Rock being on the race docket. This morning, it's just one track, but what a track it is. Autodromo Jose Carlos Pase.
Yes, indeed. And after that mouthful, I'm going with Interlagos, which is the common name for and the former name of this track, which is located near the city of Sao Paulo. It's been renamed to what we just heard there, the Autodromo blah 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 Carlos Pache. It's after Carlos Pache, who was a Formula 1 driver who died in a plane crash in 1977. The track itself was opened in 1940. The first Formula 1 event was in 1972, and it's been a steady host of the Brazilian Grand Prix since 1990. It's 4.3 kilometers or 2.6 miles. There are 15 turns on this track, but Bill, about half of the turns, from turn 6 through to turn 12, are crammed into about a quarter of the track. Very tight track, very technical, and still there's a lot of wide open space for the drivers to get their foot down and put the pedal to the metal. So let's go and have a look at a lap guide and see what this track offers up for the drivers.
All right, we've got Kevin Brown behind the wheel of the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around Interlagos. Turn 1 is a great chance for a pass, but with the way it switches back into 2, it's possible to defend from the outside. So watch for guys trying different things through here. Now we head through the Curva del Sol. It's flat out through this sweeping left-hander and feeds you onto the backstretch. At the end of this is 4, which is another good place to try and outbrake your opponent. And since it's a bit more straightforward, it's probably a better spot to get it done. The track really drops away here, so the car tends to want to push wide. Just watch out for that wheel spin like Kevin gets as you feed on the power. Now we head into the more technical portion of the circuit. 6 and 7 are going to be a double apexer with a big rise at the end. With the track being modernized, there's lots of paved runoff to the outside if you lose it. Then there's not much time before you're braking into 8. You can really get away with taking tons of curb on the inside here. Right away, you've got a slow left-hander. There's lots of crazy camber going on here too, so keep it nice and tucked on the inside. Now we've got a curved straight that feeds us into the duckspill. Once again, lots of curb on the inside that you can take, so now's your chance to be greedy with it. One more time, compromise the exit and give yourself the best entry possible into 11. It's flat out if you hit it right, and you'll want to use every inch of the circuit. Now it's heavy braking for 12, possibly the most important corner of the lap. Get a bad exit and you'll lose precious seconds all the way to the line. In these cars, you won't lift until you get back to turn 1, so from here it's simply a matter of putting as little steering angle in as possible. As has become custom, you'll want to chop off the pit entry to really shorten the run. But that's a lap around Interlagos.
Kevin Brown behind the wheel, Joe Peak behind the mic, taking us a lap around Interlagos. Now let's take a lap around the point standings. For all the drivers on the overlay, there was nothing but good news as all the arrows are green. Simon Fagel can boast a 4th, a 3rd, and a 3rd so far this season, and that is the kind of consistency that will earn a guy 1,000 Australian bucks as he sits at the top of the chart. Richard Green Eggs and Hampstead, 12th place finish in his season debut, was an anomaly because he has a pair of runner-up finishes after that and climbs a spot just 35 points out of the lead. You know, he'd be 20 back if not for a 15-point first-round penalty that he picked up. Proving that the saying, showing up is half the battle, is Jason Scully, averaging just over a 9th place finish. Scuzzy is up a spot into 3rd. A 7th, a 14th, and a 10th is enough to land David Miller on the overlay, up 2 places into 4th. And while Scully and Miller are consistent glow, Luis Paulo Gallon is a flash or a puff of smoke. The only driver with a win, the only driver with 2 podiums, and the only driver with the DNF sits in 5th. His 3rd round doubleheader win, bouncing him up 10 places. Richard, we've talked about the track, reviewed the last round, gone over the standings. Let's let the viewers know a little bit about the IDA GT3 series is all about.
Most certainly. Well, we are in season 2. And it is a long season, let me say. It's the schedule is 17 races, or well, 17 events, I should say. And this is round number 4 only. And because they spaced out at least by 2 weeks before each event, it's going to take us through most of the year to get through this schedule. There are no drop races, which is very important. So if you make a mistake, they will hurt you. If you don't turn up, they will hurt you. For today's race, we have a propensity for the drivers to have chosen the Audi car. So lots of Audis out there, lots of Mercedes as well, 13 Mercedes, 17 Audis. Couple of Fords, the diehards using their Fords, which it remains to be seen how those cars will go here. No BMWs and 3 McLarens. Now switching cars is allowed in this series. And the setups are open, the fuel is unrestricted, and because we have 90-minute races, that's important. The format, well, they've got 6 different variations on the formats, and we saw last week they had a double header format, and this week it's a single 90-minute race. They have rolling starts, which I tend to like for different types of cars. There are only, well, there are no cautions. The weather is dynamic. Bill explained the temperatures already. And the big thing, as you said, Bill, 1,000 Australian dollars up for grabs for the winner of the series. It's fantastic. Back to you.
And $2,100 in total catches for everybody. So, yeah, this is one that you want to be part of. And certainly you can see that there are no drop races. So dedication is an important part. My dad used to say, it takes, boy, if I can remember what my dad used to say on this one, it takes dedication, opportunity. Dad, I forgot the other 2. Dad's mad at me now. I'll come back. I got a long broadcast. I have plenty of time to remember what Dad used to tell me about. Let's go ahead and talk about the 90-minute standard format here. Fortunately, last week I had like a legal document to read. This time it's much easier. What's going on right now is qualifying. Well, that's going to start in just a minute. It's an open qualifying, 25 minutes, and we'll cover that. There's 40 spots available to race, but you have to pre-qualify. They got 35 drivers here today, so everyone who wanted to race has an opportunity to race. Qualifying is 25 minutes. Like I said, the one unique feature about it is there is a no-tow policy. So if you crash your car, that could be the end of your qualifying day. And of course, it grids it normally sequentially. Then, what's on tap for the race? The important part, it's a simple 90-minute race in the morning. We expect there to be 1 pit stop. There's going to be no fast repairs. You break it, you buy it. That's the way it should be. There is no incident cap, but there are penalty points at certain levels. 35 incidents and 50 incidents will cost you some championship points. And they are standard championship points that are available. So this is basically, we have 25 minutes of open qualifying and a 90-minute race. Kind of one of the simpler formats, Richard, that the IDA uses in this complex series.
Yes, and they've chosen a great track to do it on. It's going to be really interesting to watch the qualifying with the high number of Audis in there. There's going to be a lot of very loud engine noises, screaming engine noise, and of course then you have the deep-throated roar of the Mercedes. I really like the sound of this car, so I'm looking forward to the qualifying when it starts.
What I'm hearing about the car, the manufacturers here today, the Audis are pretty consistent all the way through. We think that the Ford, now there's only 2 Fords in the pre-qualifying. We're not sure how many have shown up today. What we understand about the Ford is it's really good through that final corner, which is a great way that you can get a pass done going down into 1. The Audis are going to be really good through the technical section. So if you're out in front, it's going to be hard to pass them through there. The McLarens are supposed to be really good straight line speed, so we look for them to be fast. One of the things that the McLaren might be using up a lot of tire wear. Tire is going to be interesting today, Richard. This is a 90-minute race. This falls right at the breaking point for me, of whether you take tires or not. So that's going to be one of the questions that we have. Will they take tires? You know what? And earlier we saw Gallon take a unique strategy in the first race where he only took 2 outside tires. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yes, we will. And it is tight. We mentioned the fact that we've got 6 of the turns crammed into a quarter of the track, so there's going to be a lot of twisting around. There's a couple of hairpins, in fact, in that section I was speaking about, which is from turn number 6 all the way to turn 12. You have turn number 9, which is a hairpin, and then turn 10 is another hairpin, and then you go round to 11, and 12 is a sort of a hairpin as well, before you get to the open turn number 13, and then onto the front straight again. So there's going to be a lot of turns, and that's going to test the tires out a little bit. Now, I just had a look down the list of cars here, and I only see one Ford, one Ford, and that's George Johnson running the Ford here today. He's turned up so far.
Yeah, we'll see how the cars do through the technical section. This track winds more than my nephew's 3-year-old toddler. I'm telling you, it's a lot of open areas, and then like Richard said, through those, like through 6 through 12, it is very busy. But some great passing zones here today, as we still have back practice has just wrapped up right now, so these guys are going to be going right to qualifying, and we'll see who gets out first. Right now in practice time, your fastest driver was the gambler, Joshua Rogers, out there in front.
Yeah, and we will see who is fastest in the qualifying, because now they get to the business end. Of course, this is it's an open qualifying format. Is it open? Yes, it is. 25 minutes of qualifying. So open qualifying, and so you can make use of the draft, and there is a significant amount of draft here, Bill, especially after you come back onto the straight there from that left-hander at turn number 13. You're all the way onto the front straight, and it's a long front straight to turn number 1, and so their draft will play a part. And whether the drivers can use that draft during qualifying remains to be seen.
And welcome back, John Piesnik. We saw him in the opening round. We were glad to see him back right now. He's back, and for you fans of the IDA who watched the GT3 series that we broadcast earlier this year, actually it was in 2016, you'll be familiar seeing John in his familiar McLaren. He's out there again. He's going to be the first driver out of pit lane, is going to be the first driver to put in a qualifying time right now. Remember, they're working on their hot laps right now. None of this time works. None of this lap matters. It will matter as soon as Piesnik crosses that start-finish line. And again, Richard, it's all about putting in a fast time, but you got to put in a clean lap as well.
Absolutely. Even if you get a 0x, and we can explain that, a 0x is an allocation by iRacing. When it thinks that a mistake has been made, you put a wheel off the track, or you've got a little bump. Even if you get a 0x bump from, say, a teammate or somebody trying to help you get a better time, that lap will be invalid. It will not be counted. It's got to be absolutely 100% clean to count. Now, with 25 minutes, these guys are going to get a mini race worth of laps in here. And so I don't think it's going to be a problem for anybody to get a clean lap. But whether that clean lap is your fastest lap, that's what we're after. And that's what we'll be looking out for.
And Piesnik, looks like Piesnik has had an off trap in the McLaren. Actually, he's going to park it now, get out of the way. So let's look for Richard Hampstead. I think he may be the first guy to come across with a clean lap, assuming that Green Eggs can keep the car on the track. As Piesnik has pulled that car over.
Well, Riley right in the wall there, Bill. Riley, he's going to have to nurse that car back to the pits now. He had a big hit in the wall there.
And that is one of the interesting features that Clint Smith, one of these series organizers, has put in. There is a no-tow policy. There you see Blythe. If he can't get that car back, and we're looking at the replay, his qualifying day will be over. He cannot take a tow. So if he can't limp it back in, my goodness. And those Audis, they're not as tough as, certainly not as tough as the BMWs, which are notorious for being tanks. Let's see, he's back though, he's got it rolling, so I think he's going to get around. Okay, here comes Hampstead across the line. Did he get in a clean time? No, he did. Yes, he did. He gets one in, and the mark to beat is a 1 minute 30 second 0.9. Gallen comes in considerably slower with a 32 flat, so about a second off the pace.
Yeah, but it's early minutes in the qualifying. They still have many minutes to go. They've only done 2 minutes, one lap. So plenty of time. Blake Nick up there now with a 131.570. And then Zachary Hanlon straight on with a 131.210. So they're all getting their times in. Now we'll keep an eye on this as they start settling down and jockeying for position, and of course working out whether they can get some draft or not. But current leader on the leaderboard, Richard Green Eggs, as Bill likes to say, Hampstead, 1 minute 30.977, and Blake Nick off now. He's going to have to bring it back in.
10 drivers have put in qualifying times, and you can see them right there. Those are the only 10 drivers so far who've put in a clean lap. We saw Blake Nick. He is certainly fast, very consistent, a good top 5 runner all the time. So we'll see what he can do today. How about Clint Shane Smith? I think he's got to be happy with that time. He's about 9/10 of a second, about a second slower than Hampstead. Actually, I think Clint would be pretty happy with that. Remember, Clint was not able to get into qualifying time last time. He had to start from the back and had a great run through the field.
Yes, and that was in the first race, but in the second race at Lime Rock Park, didn't do so well. But he's up there at the moment. Clint Smith in 5th place. Our only driver in a Ford, George Johnson, was up into 8th place, but he's been shuffled back now to 10th place in the Ford there. So, and probably be moved further down, but good job from him in the Ford there, which is going to be a tough car to handle or manhandle around this track, Bill.
If you remember, George Johnson was having the race of his life last time at Lime Rock. He was up, I think, running in the top 5 before coming out of the final corner. The car got loose and he put it in the wall. Ruined a great run.
Yes, that was as Kevin Brown would have said, tragic, unfortunate, and really wrecked his day. And it was like the last lap or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He was having a great run. There's a director. Let's see if we can put the camera on car number 96, Anthony Winkleman. He is sneaky fast. He's out there running right now, 5th in qualifying, a 31.3. And is that Winkleman running in another? Are we looking at him there? Yes, looking in that Audi, in that blue, yellow, and red Audi. Now, I'm going to get that confused. You can see the Elements paint scheme on that. That's going to look a lot like what you see in Pistic run in that. That's what got me confused, thinking he was running McLaren as well. Pistic has a real similar paint scheme in his McLaren. Look at, though, right now, Winkleman kind of stuck behind. That's Piotrowski there trying to get around. Piotrowski's put in, well, he was sitting in the top 10, now sitting in 22nd. I kind of think this is killing Winkleman's run here. In fact, yeah, that's not going to work. I think what he's got to do is get around Piotrowski here and try it next time. Maybe save a little bit of the tires and see what he can have here.
Well, this looks like the 5 drivers, now 4 now, that haven't put in a time at this point in time. Riley Blythe is probably top of that list. So Riley's back out there. He's doing his lap number 3, which will be his out lap. And let's see if he can get a time there, because Riley's got quite a turn of speed, but he's struggling here. Well, he's got the car turned around again. He didn't hit anything this time, so he has to start again. That's not going to count.
That's what we call a little CC there. It's a little commentator's curse. Nobody better at it than my partner, Richard Losper.
Oh, I can do it with the best of them, Bill. Remember the Sarah Dove issue?
Oh, my gosh.
I've never seen a car fly so beautifully into the air like that one.
We were on there was a race a little while ago. We were covering the AOR race, and she was having a great run, and we properly put the camera on her 15 seconds per race. We put it on there. Richard brought attention to her and had a horrible crash. Kenny Rogers still out in front with a 30.8. Hampstead right behind him, a 1/10 of a second back. Gallen running in 3rd right now.
I'm interested in watching Simon. In fact, I've got my cameras on Simon Fagel. He's in an Audi, and he's a very, very good driver. Races for Evolution Racing, I believe it is, his team. And he does a great job. He's always featuring in the top 5, top 10. So let's see what he can do. He's about 7th in the qualifying at the moment with a 1 minute 31.639. But he's out there trying to improve on that time right now.
And it looks like, hey, let's take a look at Anthony Winkleman. I told you he was somebody to keep an eye on. He has jumped up to 2nd now. as he puts in a 30.9, about a tenth of a second off of Rogers.
Yeah, that's a very good time. Anthony Winkleman will keep an eye on that. Joshua Rogers still up there now. Richard Amstead has just been pipped by John Peasnick. John Peasnick with a 1:30.976 in the Audi there. That's a great time. Now, isn't John the driver that got injured and we thought he wasn't going to be available for racing anymore?
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing, Richard. I didn't want to bring that up because I wasn't sure if that was correct, but you and I are thinking the same. So, yeah, we thought he was going to be out for a while. So, welcome back. You know, talk about manufacturers. You have a couple of Audis sitting 1-2. Then you have the McLaren of Peasnick. And here's a car that I think is benefiting from the talent, because I don't think this car is really suited much here for this track, and that's Richard Hampstead in the Mercedes.
Yeah, and there are 13 of the Mercedes, of course, in them. A lot of the guys have chosen the Audi for a very good reason, that when the track is tight, you want the nimbleness of the Audi. And of course, worst off is probably the Ford, and it's just the loyalty that George Johnson is in the Ford, probably just more comfortable in the Ford, hasn't had time to work on some of the other cars perhaps. But yeah, the Mercedes is a very heavy car, and it just looks uncomfortable on this track, really.
Yeah, to get it through the twisty sections, I think would be a bear. So now you have two Mercedes, though, Hampstead and Gallen sitting 4th and 5th.
Yeah, so they've done a great job. Then you got 3 Audis, then the McLaren there of John Peasnick, and then those 2 Mercedes, but then another bunch of about 7 or 8 Audis, and then a Mercedes. So looks like the Audis are near the top of the field at the moment. But of course, it's a long race. It's 90 minutes of racing when they get started, and so anything could happen. And it comes down to the driver's ability, and we know that drivers like John Peasnick, Richard Hampstead, Louis Gallen have proven already in this series, Bill, that they are pretty handy behind the wheel of whichever car they're driving.
You know, we mentioned that Riley Blythe wasn't able to put in a qualifying time yet. Well, he's got one in, sitting 10th right now with a 31.7, about 9/10 of a second off the lead. We're going to see here as we're watching Gallen as he comes around. See what he can do on this lap. We think he might have had a good one. He's currently sitting 5th. He had a 31.1. And Gallen just coming across the start-finish line now. Let's see if he improves on his time. Nope, it's going to stay at a 31.1. That time that he put in close. Oh, I think what it was, I think might have had a fast lap. I think it just didn't count. I think he might have picked up an incident point.
Yeah, but he's out there doing another one. There's plenty of time left. 11 minutes gone in this qualifying session, and of course it's a 25-minute qualifying session. Now, Bill, this track, you may not know, the viewers probably won't know, this track has a big quirk. Now,
what's that? I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
When you come onto the front straight and you go very, very close to the pit wall, and a lot of the drivers kind of aim for that pit wall, and then at the very last second they dive to the right and they pass very, very close to the pit wall. iRacing, the simulator, gets confused. It thinks you were about to enter the pits, and it registers a major accident for your car, which other drivers will see, but you yourself have not touched anything at all. So that is a huge problem, which I've seen people use to great effect to put the driver off behind them who's trying to overtake them.
Oh, and there we see Zachary Hanlon going off track. That one's not going to count. Hanlon currently sitting in 6th overall in qualifying. Another thing about that pit entrance, it is a commentator's nightmare. When we get to the pit window, it's impossible for me or Richard to tell when you're actually coming in, because the racing line, these guys really exploited, Richard. They go right across the pit entrance line, that white line that says come on in. So it's really hard to tell when they're pitting and when they're not.
Yeah, and they're entitled to do that, because that is in fact the ideal line when you are trying to get as much momentum to going towards turn 1. So it's tricky, and the advantage is there for anyone to use. And at the beginning when this track first came out on the iRacing service, it was a big problem because people were getting all kinds of problems with iRacing, thinking they were entering the pits, as I spoke about a little earlier. But they've fixed some of that issues up now, excepting the big one that I spoke about, and now you won't get some sort of error when you're crossing over the pit entrance. So these guys, also another part to watch there where Gallon just came through, and that is on turn number 14, I think it is, just before you get onto the front straight. You have this section where you have this big blue area on the right hand side. Now you can take some of that blue area. It's allowed by iRacing. It's frowned upon by most league organizers because you can get an unfair advantage by going really wide there. But they have narrowed it down. Now, iRacing has narrowed that section down, so it's your choice. If you go out there, if you go too wide, you will get a 1x from iRacing. But you can use it, and you can get an advantage because what it does is it kind of gets the radius a little bit less than more. You got more radius being able to get into that corner.
Looking at Gary Hamilton right now, currently way down in 14th position. He's coming to the start-finish line right now. I think he's got a pretty good lap time going in. I've been watching him. Right now he has a 31.8 posted. I think this is a clean time. Let's see how he does. Oh, I don't know. And either was slower than that or it wasn't clean. I wish we had ways to tell you, as he's going to remain in 14th position. This is for Spiral Slice right now. He is struggling. He's way down the field. We'd expect him to be faster than that. Not liking the Mercedes right now.
Bill, 29 cars are out there with all of them having put in a lap, excepting for car number 27, Philip Morton in an Audi, who has yet to, in fact, he's not in the sim at the moment, so one wonders whether he will be joining the race, but he has not put in a qualifying time, and he is not actually in the sim at this moment.
And we are looking now at Huxham, who we have up now. We're on Daryl Carter. Daryl Carter currently sitting in as the looking to see where he is on the grid right now. Daryl currently sitting in 21st position. Now we're looking at Joe Pietrowski, 25th.
And I've just been watching David Miller. He's not on the track at the moment, but he's a driver that we always like to watch because he's always involved in overtaking or being overtaken.
If there's a battle, he's in it. Yeah, that's absolutely.
That's right. He's in 24th position at the moment.
And sitting 4th in the points. So much of this, remember, Richard, there are no drop. I love a series. It's mixed emotions for me because I hate, that your sister gets married and it may cost you $1,000 Australian dollars because you have to miss a race. Well, tell her not to get married on race day. That's all. There are no drop races. There are no fast repairs. This is big boy racing.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Bill, in Australia, if your sister gets married on a race day and you in for $1,000, you're going to say, see you later, guys. I won't be at the wedding. I'll see you later. I'm going to be racing for that $1,000. That's just how we do it in Australia. We are probably the weirdest nation on the planet for the way we see things, as opposed to Americans are so finicky. Oh my God, they get you just say hello and then they got a question. Was that a good hello? Was it a bad hello?
All right, since 99% of these drivers are Australian and you're from Australia as well, we'll let it roll. We'll go with the flow right now. Looking at P-Stick right now in that beautiful McLaren. Man, that is fun to look at. The Elements racing car, a beautiful blue, yellow, and red machine, sitting in 3rd.
Yeah, and John Pisnik at the last race, it was mentioned that he had an accident and did some damage to his hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, the doctors have fixed him up, to the point where he can actually race again, and that is really good to see because John Peasnick is very exciting to watch, Bill.
Just put it on the wheel and wrap some duct tape around your hand and the wheel, you're good to go.
Joshua Rogers still up on the leaderboard. He is number one on the leaderboard with that 130.6. And your friend there, Anthony Winkelman, still up in second place. And then we have John Peasnick, who's best at Richard Hampstead. So this is going to be fun. Simon Fagel has moved up as well. He's now in fifth position, Bill, with a 131.0. So they're very close. There's only about 4/10 separating the top five.
Now here comes Peasnick. We think he might have a good lap going. He's going to come to the start-finish line right now. He's got that McLaren. This is where the McLaren can really eat. Right here as he comes. You see that pit entrance there that they go through? Coming out, and here we go. Does he get anything there? Nope. 30.9 is where he's going to hold at. Peasnick, Hampstead now. We talked about Green Eggs. Well, he's sitting in fourth. Fagel in fifth.
To it. Well, Hampstead's coming up into turn 14, into turn 15 right now.
See what he can do with that Mercedes. Coming at you, and he crosses the line.
Has not improved this time. No. Richard Hampstead last lap time. Oh, that was not a lap that counted as well. No count for that lap. But the timing and scoring will tell you. It gives a no time if you mess up the lap. So your last lap will be just a couple of dashes on the timing and scoring, Bill. And that'll tell us whether a driver has managed to put in a clean lap or not.
Big names that are farther down than we would expect. Gary Hamilton sitting in 14th. The driver we haven't talked much in this qualifying, he's sitting third in the points. That's Jason Scully in the number 9 machine, currently 13th. And that's probably about where he usually qualifies. Boy, he's off, I think. Yep, I think that's is that going to count? Does that? Oh, that's certainly off now. Yeah, it's not going to count now. Yeah, it looks like the front end might be a little bit wrinkled on that one. Not sure if he's actually going to have time with 3 minutes, if he would even have time to bring that in and get a new car. He's going to try. We're going to see if we can find Scuzzy. Had a little spin here. Our director doing his magic. Let's see what we got. There, we see him parked on the grass. We're going to back it up a little bit, see if we can actually catch it. And he's still parked on the grass. I think we're going to get it this time. We're going to watch it together. Well, this was early on in the lap. This is coming into corner 1. Well, this gives us an indication of what we could look for during the race. Oh, the car just went around on him. And that's probably the worst place that you would want to spin with that no tow rule, Richard. He had to limp that car all the way around.
Yeah, that's right. And now we are getting close to the end of qualifying. About 22 minutes gone in qualifying. So 3 minutes left. That's enough time to get an out lap if you can do that, and one hot lap in. And we are looking at Jason Scully sitting in the pits now. Will he come out for another try? Maybe not. Because, Bill, at the end of the day, yes, it's great to see your name right up there in the first position or in the top 5 or so, but it's a 90-minute race, so qualifying is a prestige thing, not so much gonna have a major effect on the race, I don't think, because some of these drivers, like, say, Simon Fagel and Richard Hampstead in 4th and 5th place at the moment, they're good enough to win this race if things fall their way.
Riding on board with Benjamin Hackison, want to give him a thank you for sending us some real great race information. He took the time to talk about the cars and what he thought the strategy would be. Also, we saw him race in the Autobahn Series, where I think he had a 2nd place in the GT3 division over there. Congratulations to him. He's working on the back half of the track now, going through this right-hander, currently sitting in 11th position with a 131.6, right behind the sliver, Martin Slavasi. So if he can get a little bit faster time here, I think he's got a clean lap going. Look at him push the envelope here. This is the final left-hander, and now it's throttled down to the start-finish line. Let's see what he can do. We'll follow him all the way through. Time just about up in qualifying. Coming over.
This will be his last attempt at a lap as he comes through to go across the finish line. This is Benjamin Atkinson.
131.6 was his best, and he's not going to be able to improve that right now, sitting in 11th. Racing in that number 7 Audi.
Yep, and I don't think that Philip Morton will be taking the grid. He still has not come out and put in a qualifying lap, so he did enter the race, but doesn't look.
Put in a practice time, so he's been out there. Maybe he's just decided that he wants to start from the back. All right, now we're back on board on the Rainbow Machine here. The element McLaren of John Piesnik coming around the final corners. Got that McLaren punting right now. 139 is his best time as he comes across the start-finish line. Is he going to do any better? No.
Oh, very close. Very close.
Now, was I wrong? Wasn't Piesnik in third? Did I miss that, or was he in fourth? I thought I just looked at him in third. Oh, was in fourth? Okay, here we go.
Gallon.
There we go. I saw somebody jump up. Okay, Luis Paulo Gallon. He was way down about 6th or 7th. He's had a good lap now at a 30.8 right before the end. Great run from him. Gallon. He is interesting. He is an interesting driver. He does everything the hard way.
Well, we're just watching this. The drivers are allowed to finish their hot laps, I believe. So Anthony Winkelman's still out there. He's in third place at the moment. Can he better his time as he goes through the twisty section at the moment? And he will be heading up now towards turn number 13. Well, it's not quite there yet. Going through 12 now. He'll be coming around about 11 and then 12, 13. Then onto the front straight where you try and get the power down as quickly as possible. This is that blue section I was talking about, Bill. They go out there. Many leagues don't allow you to get on the blue section. Now you go wide. You try and get your power down as fast and hard as you can. Anthony Winkelman doing that and heading towards the line. Now this will be it because time is nearly. Oh no, he's coming back into the pits.
But I think Piesnik snuck in there at the very end. He was the last car. I think Piesnik snuck on to the third spot. Got around Winkelman. He had a 139. I didn't check the something. Well, apparently 139.940. A little bit better than the .944 of Winkelman. So Piesnik sneaks it in. I believe that is done. Qualifying is over. We'll wait for the official results to come up, and we'll run down the grid.
Yeah, we'll be able to see that in a minute or so. Of course, we've got time on our hands, Bill, because there's a rolling start, which means there will be a pace lap.
We have a little, it's not quite the whole lap here, so we have to hustle through a little faster than we would where we have an overtime. We'll take it 2 at a time, though, by a row. I think we'll be able to get through it. What's good news for us is there are no breaks in this race. We don't have to reload for any new sessions or anything. Trust us here, it's a juggling act to get all of our software working, and once we get it working, every time we have to start a new session, it's cross your fingers, click your heels 3 times, and hopes that it all starts back up again.
Okay, they are in the get into the car stage now, where everybody will be jumping into their cars, and we will see the pace car out there momentarily, and we are on lap number 0. And of course the first lap, the out lap, is only part of a lap. That won't count, and then we'll get this rolling start behind the pace car. It's going to be exciting. So are we ready for the grid just yet?
Yep, I think we can do that. Let's go ahead. We'll take it a row at a time. Rich, I'll take the front row. The Gambler, Joshua Rogers, inside of Luis Paulo Gallon.
On row number 2, John Piesnik with a very late, a good time there in third place. Fourth place, Anthony Winkelman.
Richard Hamstead, second in points, just inside of Simon Fagel, first in points.
7th place on row number 4 on the inside, Zachary Hanlon. And on the outside, Blake Neck in 8th place.
Benjamin Hackison in 9th, and the guy who was sitting in 14th moved up a little bit. That's Gary Spiral Sliced Hamilton in 10th.
And on row number 6, we will have Martin Silvasi and Warren Pickering.
Riley Blythe and Scuzzy Jason Scully in the 14th spot.
Then league organizer Clint Shane Smith and Darren Huxham, row number 8.
His nickname is Slow. Right now, he's right in the middle of the pack. That's George Johnson. Outside of him, Wayne Taylor.
And in row number 10, we have Mark Simon and Paul Lonergan.
In the blackjack position, it's Nathan Groudon. Outside of him, Darren McKenzie.
And we are looking now at David Miller and Daryl Carter. That's row number 12.
Row 13 made up of Brenton O'Brien and Joel Piotrowski.
As the cars start rolling, we can call row number 14 with Joshua Haddon and Simon Mazzomo.
And we can announce that Philip Salty Morton did get out there. He just didn't want to put in a qualifying time. So starting at the very back in 29th position in the number 27 Audi is Philip Morton.
And so 29 cars take the field, or take the grid, I should say. And they all showing up green on my timing and scoring. This is fantastic. 90 minutes of racing coming your way, Bill, as they follow the beautiful roof, the roof 12T, which is the pace car today. Well, it's the pace car every day.
At least for this morning, it is certainly. Gray skies here. The traction should be pretty good. We think the tire wear should be pretty good. There may be some drivers trying to do this on the 4 tires that they started. We'll see who stops for tires. That may not be an issue with it being so cool. Could be some good tire wear out there. We're not sure about the McLaren, how it does.
What we do know, just quickly, Bill, is they will be using more fuel than they would use if it were clear skies. Because certainly with overcast weather, you do use more fuel. As we get ready for a start, back to you, Bill. I'm excited.
Pace car ready to peel. And so does the thunder of the engines. Keep an eye, boy, really close racing up on front right off the bat, even before they go green. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn, and a horrible start from Gallon. We're going to have trouble right now. They try to go 3 wide into the first corner. On the inside, in 3rd place, it is Peacenik who sneaks up there. Winkleman has in 4th position right now. Gallon able to salvage that horrible getting going. He's up there in 2nd position, but your leader is the gambler, Joshua Rogers.
That was a crazy start, Gallon. First of all, squeezing Rogers so tightly that they touched before the start, and then they got going. Gallon got nearly overtaken, managed to recover as others backed away into turn 1, and now we do have a start. It's Joshua Rogers leading, Gallon in 2nd, John Peasney in 3rd, and of course Winkleman in 4th place. So pretty much as they qualified at the moment, with Richard Hampstead in 5th place. These are the pick of the drivers right now.
Through the twisty section, most of the drivers single file right now. Very clean earliest. I don't see any cars that are having a major issue as they work their way through the right-hander. Now everybody onto the throttle into one of the hardest corners coming up. This is that final corner before you're going to go full speed here. There's a nice runoff area. If they want it there, they take it. Now they get going. And I think that
the power.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
This is where the power goes down. I'm driving with Simon Faber, who's 6th place at the moment. He is trying to make up some time there. Then behind him, there's Zachary Hanlon. They all line astern at the moment. One huge train right now with Blake Neck behind Zachary Hanlon. He's a little way off. There's a little battle here with Blake Neck and Benjamin Hackison. Or is that Gary Hamilton? Might be Gary Hamilton, Bill.
Yeah, that's Gary Hamilton in that Mercedes, now up into 8th position. Actually, he was in 8th position. Trying to make a move on the outside was Blake Neck. That's going to be hard to do. Blake sitting back there in 9th right now.
Yeah, and this is one of the tracks, Bill. Oh, battle for the lead.
I didn't expect a pass to be made there, but it's not done. Yeah. There we go. And fighting back now is Rogers. We'll have to get that on replay because Rogers was out in front. Gallon was in the lead for probably a corner, and then Rogers came back and got him. We're going to look at it here. Here comes the replay. Now there you see Gallon making the move on the inside. Everything right now live, nothing's happening, so we're not missing anything right now. Look at this, Gallon makes the move, then it's a little over-under, and Rogers gets it right back.
Yeah, he had to go a little wide there, and looking at all the action just in front of him was John Peasnick. Still line astern, as they like to say, virtually top 10, virtually following each other at the moment. Now, guys, I want to just quickly mention that this is one track, Bill, where you can, on the outside on turn 1, you can defend from the outside lane because if you get it right, you're on the inside for the second half of that turn.
Gallon looking all over the back of Rogers right now. The guy who is loving this is the guy in third, John Peasnick, in his McLaren. Hoping for those two guys to mix it up again. Now this is where Gallon made the move last time, going into this left-hander.
Big battle here with Hanlon and Gary Hamilton. Hanlon going to the inside as they go to turn number 4. And it looks as if Hamilton backed out there. Gave up the position to Hanlon, who now moves into 4th position.
Hanlon, who started 7th, is up 4 spots, not giving up. It's trying to get it back, and he does. Is Hamilton. Some great racing going on.
Yes.
Remember now, we talked about the horrible qualifying that Hamilton had. He was in 14th for most of it, made it up to 10th, and now he has worked his way up to 5th during the race. 5 spots already. A great run from Spiral Slice, but it's not over. Look at this battle. Fighting back now is Hanlon. Hanlon and Hamilton going at it. Watching the whole thing is Blake Neck.
Yes, and we've got Hanlon up against Gary Hamilton, and that is 2 car makes. The Audi versus Mercedes at the moment, and just currently Mercedes has it.
Not much going on up in front. The top 3 has settled down. In fact, we look at this now, it's settled down so much that Gallon has fallen back into the clutches of the McLaren of Peasnick. Peasnick working on the inside. He's going to get it. Gallon drops back to 3rd. Boy,
well done, John Peasnick.
Gallon's been all over the place. He had a little taste of the lead, and now he's back in 3rd.
Just settling in. We've seen Lewis Gallon being all over the place, being involved in a bit of rough stuff as well, but he's a good driver, make no mistake. He knows how to wheel that Mercedes around the track, and it's early days, Bill. Early days. Only like 10 minutes gone in this race.
Best racing so far in our 4 races that we covered in this IDA series. Some great races going on right now. We got to go back to 4th position. This is a choo-choo train right here. Hamilton out in front is the engine. Hanlon, Neck, Blythe, Hackison, Ice Pickering, Hampstead involved, Smith, Scully. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's incredible. Look at this now. Here comes Pickering. Let's look at Pickering in 10th position. Pickering in a battle with... Oh, are they going to get this settled down? And he lost it. That was Hampstead.
Hampstead was, yeah, Hampstead. There was a touch there, and Hampstead got turned around. Unfortunately, did he manage to catch it? I'll have to check.
And they're around again. Oh, wait a minute, this is worse. Stay on it. Hampstead gets into it. Winkleman gets into him.
Oh, that was a hard hit, Bill. That car is done. He's trying to limp back to the pits right now, but he is done. That's a very hard hit. Oh, I hate to see things like this. I really do. That's just so terrible. Let's have another look, Bill.
Yeah, this is just ugly. We must have missed something that put some of these guys there. Fagel was back farther than he should have been, and Winkle. Well, I guess not. I guess that's where they were. They're just showing up a little farther back in my timing and scoring now that they've had the incident.
Yeah, and this is round number 4, and Richard Hanlon, I feel for him, Richard Hampstead, I should say, still trying to nurse that car back into the pits. He's nearly there. I forget now, Bill, is it do they get a new car? No, I don't think so, hey?
Nope, not here.
Oh dear, that's going to be one long repair. That car is bent badly. He might have to call it a day, Bill.
So Hampstead got into it with George Johnson, and those two cars spun. And then the other cars came in. The other cars came in, yeah. Simon Fagel was able to sneak through. Now, I'm not sure why Fagel was back so far there, so we might have missed that. He qualified in 6th position, right now currently running in 16th. Well, we're back live. Maybe we can take a second, run down our top 10, get a feel of where they are right now. Your leader is the Gambler, Joshua Kenneth Rogers, out there in front, and he has put up a 6-second lead now. No, that's wrong. My timing and scoring is off.
1 second.
Scully and Smith having an incident. Scully has put it in the wall.
And Smith's back in it, trying to get the car back onto the track right now. He's got a bent wing, and he's still waiting for other cars to pass. The cars pass now, and he gets back on track. So he is rolling, but he's got a bent car at this. Well, he's got a bent wing at least.
What happened there was Smith was trying to make a move on Ice Pickering, trying to get that. When Smith got the car on the inside, he tried to keep it off of Pickering. The car turned around and then got into the back of Jason Scully, who was trying to go by.
So we've seen a number of incidents that taking place in the last couple of laps, and we are only on lap 6, Bill, as we see Gallen very loose into turn number 13 there. Nearly lost it, but managed to hang on, and now he is going uphill and onto the front straightaway. But we've seen a couple of incidents that don't do a lot of credit to the drivers this early in a race. It is far too early to be involved in shenanigans like we've been seeing.
I'm here with you, just going back to check a little bit on what happened to our point leader, Simon Fagel. See if I can find it. We're not going to be able to get it on the replay, but see if I can figure out what happened to him.
Okay, while you are doing that, we can tell you we were busy running down the top 10 when the accident happened. So Joshua Rogers is our leader. He's got a lead of 1.6 seconds over John Piesnik. And John Piesnik is in the McLaren, and of course Rogers is in the Audi. Third place is Louis Gallen. He's in a Mercedes, and he's 3.8 seconds from the leader. He's got 2 seconds to go to catch up to John Piesnik. Then in fourth place we've got Gary Hamilton. He's 10 seconds back. Zachary Hanlon, there's a battle between Gary and Zachary. That battle has not abated. We'll come back to that in a little while. That's 5th place in an Audi. Blake Neck in 6th place. Riley Blythe, who had such an early bad qualifying session, he's up there in 7th place at the moment. And then Benjamin Hackerson as well. These guys are very, very close to each other. The battle is on there. We'll come back to that. Then we've got Warren Pickering. He was involved there, but he's still out there and still circulating. He's in 9th place. And rounding out the top 10, Bill, and hopefully you found what happened to Simon Fagel, but in 10th place at the moment, Martin Silvasi.
I did. It was on lap number 2. I want to report that Winkleman was in a battle with Hampstead. These guys were running up in 4th and 5th. I'm surprised we missed this one. They got together. They both spun right in front of Fagel, and Fagel had to take evasive acts to miss them. So that's what happened to some of our big names. Hampstead, Fagel, and Winkleman. Sorry, viewers, that we missed that one. They were running up near the top. We must have been covering something else at the time.
And we can report here that we still have a very tight train here, starting with Zachary Hanlon. Here we go, more trouble.
Hamilton in trouble. We're going to get the replay right now.
And another touch in front of him, Benjamin Hackerson, as we go to the replay.
Hamilton just got loose in front of Hanlon. Everyone gets around him. We'll look at the Hackerson replay.
2 by 2 they're going around those tight turns. This is crazy stuff.
And And Hackson, yeah, just avoiding trouble there. So
Okay,
now, with Hamilton having issues, where's Hamilton falling back to? It looks 10th position
Hamilton,
now.
he's out.
Hamilton had that self-spin, so he has fallen back. Yeah, I know, I'm the same with you, Richard. We have Hamilton and Hampstead. You can't get them confused there.
And Hanlon.
And Hanlon, yeah, it is
brutal. Let's go to Blake Neck, because Blake Neck, and he's just behind Hanlon. The others have big gaps. But Blake Neck and Zachary Hanlon are very close to each other, and Riley Blythe just behind them, and then Benjamin Hackerson just behind them. So this is where the big battle is at the moment. And I'm smelling popcorn. My neighbors are making popcorn.
Well, maybe they're watching the broadcast. As we look on board, we ride on board here with Hanlon in 4th. Blake Neck right between those Riley Blythe. Remember, we talked about Blythe having a late qualifying. We got out there, qualified 13th, up to 6th right now. This is a nice 4-car battle with Benjamin Hackson watching the whole thing.
That's right.
Huxham has just had a spin, it looks like, all by himself. He was right ahead of Darren McKenzie. Oh my goodness, not a spin. He actually lost it. I just caught the tail end of it.
Yep.
This was a hard hit.
The wall.
Something. It looked like a hardware issue. Oh, you know what? He got the grass on the outside, and the car came around on him.
Yep.
You know what? You put the car out there with the right sides on the grass. You put it on the brake. The wheels on the grass have no grip, and the car will just turn. It'll bite on the asphalt, not bite on the grass, and that's what happened.
Yep, and then it'll snap left on you if you're on the right side, and straight into the wall. Now this battle here, I'm driving with Benjamin Hackerson at the moment. He's in the 4th in this little train. So these guys are behaving themselves beautifully at the moment, just following each other around. I guess there's not much of battling going on. They've just settled down into a rhythm right now. But these guys are very close to each other. Any mistake by any one of those 4 guys, well, the 3 in front of Hackerson, and Hackerson will pick up positions. But right now, they just nicely settled in. Bearing in mind, Bill, the race is 20 minutes old, not even 20 minutes yet, 18 minutes old. And it's a 90-minute race, so we have that big pit stop. The guys were racing here with full fuel tanks early on. So it's to be expected the car's going to be heavy, tail heavy, and a little bit slippery. But I was surprised to see so many incidents on such a grippy track.
Let's go to 11th position. It's not a battle, but we want to get a shout out to Nathan Groudon in car number 25. He is up 10 positions. He's our hard charger right now out there in that Mercedes. Has a little bit of a challenge coming from Anthony Winkleman. Now, Winkleman is fast. I don't think he picked up a lot of damage. So we'll see that Audi should be able to run him down right now. But Groudon's having a good race, up 10 spots, just outside of the top 10.
Yeah, from 21st to 10th place. That is a very good run. Behind him, Anthony Winkleman, who was involved in a little bit of drama. Yep. He's coming back. And then we've got, we've got another 3 seconds back to Paul Lonergan. So Paul Lonergan quite out of it. But let's have a look at Winkleman and see if he catches up.
Winkleman qualified 4th. He's back there in that Elements painted car. The Audi. Right now, of course, Peacenik is riding that McLaren, running in 2nd position. Those guys are teammates. Looks like Winkleman not able to close up too much right now.
Yeah, Winkleman looks like he got a bit of damage there as well on the rear end. But he's quite close enough, and he should have enough over time to pass him. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, the Mercedes, this is really not going to be its forte through this section right here. Let's see what the Audi can do that's behind him. Not sure how much damage he have. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. If we stay on this, we're going to give it a little more. We're going to invest a little more time on it. Because something tells me by the time, I was going to say, by the time they get to the main straight, we might not even need to get that far. Here comes Anthony. He's all over him now, Rich.
Yep, you go ahead and call that. There's another battle just behind them with Silvassi, but go ahead and call that one.
Oh, you can just see that. It seems like the Mercedes is trying to take the Titanic through those twisty sections of the track right now. Now they come out here. Let's see how the Audi does as they work their way. Now it's on the gas. What kind of bite can can Winkleman get? Well, he gets a pretty good drive. I think he can get in the toe, tuck to the inside. They are now Cialis Baptist, but I think the Audi's probably going to be able to get it done. Takes a little shorter distance there, cuts off some track. Is he going to be able to close the door like Queen Elsa under Coronation? He does. Give 11th position to Winkleman.
Good stuff. Nice driving. Now, there's another battle brewing here. Martin Silvasi and Warren Pickering. There's very little to pick between them, about 0.4 of a second.
This McKenzie battle back here, Richard, is really something to watch. It's still going on. This is McKenzie in the blue car there. Lonergan in the inside position. They still go at it. Oh no! That's a little too aggressive. And McKenzie spins off. Now I'm looking right now to see if Lonerman was. Oh boy, he was pretty close to the apex. Paul, I'm not sure you did anything wrong there, buddy. The car has width. It does take up track, the space on the track. I think you got squeezed a little bit.
Yeah, we are back live, and that's unfortunate. I'm a little old school when it comes to race strategy, Bill. I just think it's too early to be engaging
Sure
in
is.
any sort of really hard pushing. When a 90-minute race is 20 minutes old and you haven't done your pit stop yet, my thought is always, and I could really be, people have told me, what are you in the race for if you don't want to race? But the race is 90 minutes. I want to race once I've done my pit stop, and now I'm in the final section of the race towards the checkered flag. That's when I want to race.
Yeah. For us back markers, we like that aggressive attitude. That's how we call it vulturing spots from you crazy people who are racing for up there. We just sit back there and we pass you while you're in the trees. Let's go to 8th position. This is a couple guys here with some nice nicknames. Warren Ice Pickering and the Sliver, Martin Silvasi, going at it. Silvasi with a run now. He'll have the preferred position. That's the Ice Pick on the outside, the Sliver on the inside. Silvasi trying to make that car stick. They go side by side, but a little bit more of a drive for Pickering, and he's going to hang on for now.
And what's interesting about this battle is that it is Audi on Audi. We've seen with the other battles, different car manufacturers battling each other, but this is Audi on Audi. The battle has slowly been intensifying with Martin Silvasi closing the gap, and now he's right there, and he wants that position. There's no question about it. And Martin Pickering is saying, no, sir, I'm not giving this position to you. You'll have to fight me for it. And so this is where we're at the moment. They're on the front stretch. They crossing through the pit entry section there and heading towards turn 1. He can get on the inside, Martin Silvasi, which he does. He closes up. He draws level. He draws ahead. He takes the turn nicely. And Warren Pickering gives that up a little tamely, but wisely, in my opinion. I'm an old man.
This broadcast is made possible thanks to the contributions of our fine sponsors. So what we're going to do is run down the top 3, then pay a little bills here. Our leader right now, Joshua Rogers, out in front of John Piesnick, running in 2nd position, and Luis Paulo Gallon running in 3rd. We're going to take a short break. Don't go far away because we have a new side-by-side feature, so you can still watch the action while we play these commercials. Back in a few.
Riding's fun.
Fun.
Fun. Social.
Excitement.
Exhilarating.
Terrific. A lot of fun.
Great.
Great.
It makes me feel proud. Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
It's the best thing you can do. It's a great family sport and everyone has a great time.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the iRacing Drivers Association round number 4 from Brazil, Interlagos. We're looking at a battle for 4th position right now between Zachary Hanlon and Blake Neck. Blake Neck all over him, a pair of Audis going at it. Neck trying to find a way around Hanlon, who's sitting in 4th position right now. Looking also getting into the mix, Riley Blythe in the hunt there, and Benjamin Hackett. So it's a 4-car battle. Richard, none of the top names yet to make a pit stop.
That is correct, and we have a saying here on the Global Sim Racing Channel: if we don't mention your name, you're probably in front. And that is what the case is with Rogers, Piesnik, and Gallen. We haven't mentioned them much, and of course they are our top 3 at the moment. And yes, or I should say no, they have not made any pit stops. Bit early though, they've got a full tank of fuel at their disposal. We believe they can do something like an hour's racing with that fuel. So we are perhaps only halfway through the fuel in these cars at the moment.
Now, looking at this battle here for 8th position, before we went to break, we were talking about this great battle between the Sliver and the Ice Pick, and I'm talking about Martin Slovasi and Warren Pickering. Well, that is broken up with Slovasi out of front now. Separating those two drivers is a guy trying to make up from a lap 2 mistake, or at least an issue that he was caught up in, and that would be your port leader, Simon Fagel. He's now trying to get around Slovasi, and I think he's going to get this done here pretty soon. Slovasi out there in an Audi, and so is Fagel.
Now, Bill, Simon Fagel, I've got the utmost respect for. He's one of the ERA drivers, Evolution Racing, and he is a specialist at endurance racing, really long endurance racing. I'm talking 24 hours, etc. This guy knows how to conserve his car, knows how to do a very, very long stints. It is no surprise to me at all that he's at the top of the table.
If you watched the commercials during the break, you saw the Logitech commercial there, and that's one of the sponsors there for Fagel right now. He's in that beautiful blue and black Logitech machine, so he just ran the commercial.
And he's
Simon,
going for it. He's going for it right now.
That's what you do.
Position from Slovasi. Go ahead, Bill.
Now, you drivers at home, that's how you pay the bills. You run the sponsor commercial, and then you make a pass. Nicely done. Simon Fagel.
Well, and very aptly, Simon Fagel, he's got that Logitech colors in there. It's all blue these days for Logitech, the G colors, and he's just a copybook pass on the inside on Martin Slovasi. Moves himself up now into, I think that's 8th position he is in right now.
And let's go to his teammate in 4th position, and it won't be long until Fago catches these guys. This is this battle, Richard, we continue to keep an eye on. Nothing happening. I think we're not going to see much happen here until the pit stop. And this is Hanlon running in that Logitech machine, being chased by Blake Neck, Blythe, and Hackison.
That is true. Oh,
well, there's one guy off. And there you go.
Blake Neck, was it?
That was Neck who went off, in the number 42 machine. He was following back there behind, running behind Hanlon. So he drops 2 positions. We'll get a replay of that, and we'll see there. You can watch Blythe go by and Hackison go by as well. This is just getting the car off in the grass. You see he had that, kind of lost his rhythm. And for me, of course, I don't have nearly the talent that Blythe has, or Neck has, but once you get a little bit off, you lose that rhythm, boy. It's hard for me to get it back, and I kind of think that's what happened to him there. Good news is he didn't lose much, Rich. He just lost a couple of positions. Still in there. Plenty of time left.
Yes, that's correct. I was going to say that, we're a third into the race now, about 30 minutes. And this is the time when you're really settling into the race. Your rhythm should be pretty much established. Your position is established. You got an eye on the mirrors there to see how far you are ahead of your opponent behind you. And of course, you're having a look to see if you've got any opportunities in front of you. So if you take somebody like Blake Neck, for instance, he is not in that comfortable zone because he's got 3 cars in front of him that potentially he could battle to try and get their positions. He's in the top 10 as well, so he could move from where is he at the moment? Blake Neck, he's in 7th position. He could move into 4th position if he can get those spots. So he'll be on edge and still very racy at this point in time, not into that rhythmic sort of racing at this point.
Let's get a little love to a Ford here as we go to 13th position. This is Paul Lonergan. He's being chased down by George Slow Johnson. Look at that beautiful low-slung Ford. It's the only Ford out here. Let's stay on this for a little bit because I think the Ford is going to have some advantage. They're going to work around this sharp right-hander. We'll see as they get to the final corner. Watch the Ford really show what it can do as it gets to that final left-hander before they go on the straight. Right now, having a little bit trouble negotiating these corners. We'll stay on this Johnson. Now, here's the corner where I expect George to be pretty strong. And now he can get on the gas. Let's see if he can run down that Mercedes that's out in front of him. Here comes the Ford tuck into the draft. Let's see if the Mercedes takes a defensive line. Kind of weaving, trying to pick a spot there for you there, and Paul's going to take the... Well, that's how we solve the pass there. Make a pit stop.
Well, big action here with the 4 guys. We were talking about Blake Neck, then Benjamin Hackison, but the action was all here with Riley Blythe. Have made an attempt while he was speaking there to make the pass on Hanlon. Did not get away with it, but certainly they were very close to each other, and they've kind of settled down again now with Benjamin Hackison having a good look in front of him, as is Blake Neck as well. So this is certainly 4 guys to watch because they are very close. And as I was saying in my description, any one of them could decide that, okay, I'm going to go now and try and get that position. The only one that is looking in the mirrors is, of course, Hanlon. The rest of them are all looking forward.
I would say now we're probably easily in the pit window now. If anyone wanted to come in, I don't expect anyone to come in. If you were going to take tires, you would do it at about 45 minutes to go. You'd want to take it about the halfway mark so you get the most use out of your fresh rubber at the start of the race and out of the fresh rubber you put on halfway through. If we see drivers run for the whole hour until their tanks are empty, you're probably going to figure they're just going to come in for gas only.
Yes, and we did see at the long race last week at Silverstone that the guys were going up to 75 minutes before coming in.
Yeah. There's no restriction on the fuel. It is a full tank of fuel. Of course, there are 4 different manufacturers out there. They drink a little. Some cars are a little more thirsty than the others. Some cars have slightly bigger tanks.
So looking for a battle here, the guys that we've been mentioning, let's go to 15, I believe, with something going on over there.
Look at this is new pop of Clint Shane Smith out in front of Brent Brent O'Brien, but I think the real battle here is for 16th position back here. This is Wayne Taylor, so it's a kind of a 3-car battle. Actually, a 4-car battle with David Miller. Whoops, and we have an... Oh, my. Joel Pietrowski...
Pietrowski?
Yeah, thank you. Pietrowski has had an issue. Not so bad, though.
He's off in front of David Miller. Who was that? That was Brendan O'Brien.
Okay, now this is just a self-spin going into, I believe, the first corner. The car just got loose and he goes off. And then what did you see, Richard?
We were looking at David Miller and we were saying there's a 4-car train there, and then Brendan O'Brien, we'll try and get the replay on that. Brendan O'Brien just went off track completely and he lost 3 positions right there, or 2 positions anyway.
You know, what's interesting, we talk about Miller. He's the guy who's always in a battle. So far, he's been kind of quiet right now, but he had a little excitement there.
Yes, he was right behind that as we come back live. Poor old Brenton now having to work his way while he's got clean air in front of him and behind him at the moment. Let me have a quick look behind him. Yeah, there's a car coming up. Philip Morton, who started dead last, looming up. Where is Philip Morton? He's come from 20. He's in 20th position at the moment. He come from position 27. No. Qualifying position was no qualifying position, 29. So he's up 9 places, Bill. And he's got his eye now on that position there, which is Brendan O'Brien.
Yeah, we look at Philip Morton having a good run there. An Audi, a couple Audis going at it. And here he's going to duck to the inside. Looks like Philip's going to get this done.
Nice one.
Makes the move. O'Brien drops back. Next one up there, Sion Mazomo trying to get in there as well, running in 24th position. Oh, nope, I believe he's a lap down. That's not really a battle for position.
Yeah, and that is a good, safe passing spot there, turn number 4. There's a lot of run-off on the outside of turns 4 and 5, so it gives you plenty, if you go in there and you're the outside car, gives you plenty of space to use to defend your position or to get out of the way if it's going wrong.
And let's take a look then at the battle just a little bit ahead from them. Let's go to that David Miller battle. He's still trying to run down Wayne Taylor. Been a kind of uneventful race here so far for David. Had a little bit of excitement there, but running back in 17th spot right now. I'm not sure if he has much for Wayne Taylor. They seem to be pretty equally paced.
Yeah, one of the big losers of positions has been Anthony Winkleman. Remember, he qualified in 4th place. He's back in 11th place at the moment, having had his troubles. So he's going steadily at the moment. But just in front of him a few places, starting with 8th place, Simon Fagel. This is where it's starting to get a little interesting. Simon has got a ways to go to get to 7th place, but he's coming slowly but surely, as the 3 others in front of him are quite close to each other. Well, what are we hearing?
We're looking to see who maybe had an issue. I have a spin from Huxham, but there we go. Right in front. We want to get a good in view here. We get a chance of Pickering. Boy, the ice pick really had a good look at this one. He was able to sneak by just on the inside. Now Huxham just has a spin all by himself ahead. I'll let you viewers be the guy. You're gonna go in front of the car or behind the car? I always like to go behind the car, but he makes the right choice this time, going in front. Really no room to go behind the car there. Good job from Pickering.
I tell you what, when they're bouncing off the walls, you're not quite sure which way you want to go. But that he got by safely, so all good.
You know, Richard, you were talking about Fagel and Winkleman. Remember, Fagel, Winkleman, and Hamilton were involved in that early second lap incident. I think probably we'll be able to get a replay of that one when we come back from break, right before we do these standings. Because it was such an important event. We'll see if we can get it to you. But those guys are doing a pretty good job of working their way through. Fagel now up to 8th position, Winkleman up to 11th. But remember, like you said, Fagel started 6th, was expected to really contend for the win. He is your point leader after all, and then Winkleman started 4th, had that great qualifying time. He's up to 11th.
Yeah, and as far as Fagel is concerned, yeah, he was involved in that issue, which we hopefully can get a look at a bit later on. But since then, he's just been hitting his marks and moving his way forward. He's now up to 8th position, as you said, Bill. He's 3 seconds. Last lap he was 3.4 seconds, so he's definitely catching up slowly but surely with the guys in front of him. And the guy in front of him directly is Blake Neck, who's following behind Hackerson and Blythe, and they're pretty close to each other. And of course Hanlon as well. So those 4 cars, if they decide to battle at any point, then you can bet your bottom dollar that Simon Fagel will be right there with them in a flash.
Oh, I think you're right. I don't even think it's going to take a battle, because I think that Fagel is running them down. Remember, these 4 guys have been pretty peaceful. They've been running, the order they've been running in the whole race was Hanlon and then Neck, and then it was Blythe and Hackerson. But of course, Blake Neck had that spin, so he's brought back to the back of the train right now. But I think the interval we need to talk about, and you mentioned it, Richard, was between Blake Neck in 7th and Fagel in 8th. Right now, 2.5 seconds and closing. So while these guys think it's peaceful right now, wait till Fagel gets up there, because I'm not sure he's going to be happy at the back of the train.
Yes, I believe you're correct. And if he can get the passes done from 8th, that'll jump him from 8th to 5th position. 4th position possibly before the pit stops. That would be a big move for him. So he's pushing a little harder than those guys in front of him. They are perhaps just comfortable at the moment. He's pushing along because he's catching them at the rate of about 0.4, 0.5 per lap, which is good.
You want to talk, and this is really going to offend the fans and families of Martin Slavossi, but you want to talk about a parasite. Let's look at Martin Slavossi. Fagel got around him, and right now Slavossi is happy just to hook onto the back of Fagel as Fagel makes his run up to those drivers. Slavossi saying, I'm going to tuck in behind you, take me up there.
Nothing wrong with that at all. It's called drafting, and I'm not so sure about the parasite description. I'd be upset with that, but okay. I don't care. If I'm Martin Slavossi, I've got a good driver in front of me. He's dragging me up to the main pack there. I'm happy with that.
We'll see how that goes when we get into the pit window now. We are getting very close to the halfway mark, about 5 minutes to go, and that'll probably be the determining factor. We'll know who's going to take tires, who isn't. Why do we care so much about tires? Well, it takes about 20 seconds to take a set of 4 tires here, because you have to do it after they put the fuel in. You don't get to do it in real world racing for safety reasons. They don't like these guys out there changing tires while they're filling the car. So you have to put in the fuel. Once that's done, then you can change tires. What it really does for iRacing, though, it makes the strategy really exciting, because you have to pay. Those tires cost you 20 seconds.
Yeah, so you're going to sit in the pits for an extra 20 seconds. That is a really long time. But against that, you've got to gamble that if you don't take those tires, that you can make it through the rest of the race. And bearing in mind, others may have fresh rubber and they'll be faster than you. And not quite sure what that is worth on a track like this, but I would imagine somewhere in the order of half a second per lap is possible with new tires against old tires, Bill.
Well, you know, some tracks wear out rubber like Catwoman. This really isn't the case here. I think this track is pretty easy on the tires, so I'm not sure a lot of guys are going to be taking tires. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, I thought Catwoman had latex, but okay, I'll go with rubber.
Could be.
Yeah, well, look, Martin Slavossi, I'm of the opinion that he's doing a great job just sitting there behind a known fast guy like Simon Fagel, leader of the championship at the moment. He's got like one of his fingers already on that $1,000, Bill.
Absolutely. Fagel knows just needs to bring it home. Needs good finishing positions. We talked about 3 different winners so far. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm going to do this off the top of my head. You fans and viewers of this can yell at me if I got it wrong. But I think Kenny Rogers the gambler has a win already this season, so he's out in front. We talked about this, the Bossa Nova meaning new trend. We could have a new trend with our first 2-time winner here today. Roger really having a great run, 7 seconds in front of Peacenik. Yeah,
and it looks as if Blake Neck has responded a little bit there, Bill. Simon Fagel was 2.5, he's now
Yep.
2.9 seconds back, so a little bit of response from the pack up front there. Blake Neck, of course, he can't respond too much because he's got 3 cars in front of him but this might spur him on to try and get around those cars as he sees that in his mirrors, Simon Fagel starts to loom a little larger as Simon now pushing harder to close that gap again. He went a little wide there, but quite safe, no problem. That was just out of turn 3 now into 4 where you can really put the power down quite early and through this 5 section here. This here is a very, very tough turn, much tougher than it looks here, Bill.
Philip Morden in the car number 27 has spun it off. It's all by himself.
Oh dear.
It looks like he just car just got a little bit loose for him there. He's got it back out. He's running again. You spin it off onto the infield here. You have like the Central Park to get the car turned around. A lot of room on the infield.
Well, let's go to those 4 cars in front of Simon Fagel. Simon has really put it to them. It's 2.2 seconds now, so he's closed up significantly. Now, Blake Neck is first in the train, so he's got 2 options. He can push harder, try and get in front of the guys in front of him, which he hasn't tried to do previously, or he can just sit there and take whatever comes and wait till the pit stops. As we see just in front of him, there was a big bubble there from Benjamin Hackerson.
Yeah.
And that's closed that gap between Blake Neck and Hackerson significantly. And of course, in front of Hackerson, there is the other guys are a lot closer to each other, Blythe and Hanlon. Have they been this close all race long? Possibly they've been this close, but haven't actually made moves.
No, Hanlon's been out in front the whole time. Blythe got there when when Neck had his issues. So right now, those guys are trying to leave a little bit behind Hackerson now, trying to get back on behind Blythe. And sure enough, coming is Fagel now. It's down to 2 seconds.
Yes, Simon Fagel really pushing hard. Now they go through the really tight part of the course here. That corner there that they're going through, it's got a little banking, so you can use that banking. But with these powerful cars, you've got to be really light on the throttle. Otherwise, you'll get that car spinning in very, very quickly. But Simon Fagel, a master of managing these GT3 cars, and he is coming. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and Fagel, we talked about Slavasi trying to hang with him. He did the best he could, but the sliver now has fallen back 1.2 seconds, close to losing the draft right now.
Yeah, yep. The draft is strongest, of course, on this section of the course. And with that 2.1 seconds, Simon Fagel will be getting into the draft of the cars in front of him. He's already faster than them by something like 0.2, 0.25, or anywhere between 0.2 and 0.4 seconds per lap. As he goes really wide in turn 3 there, that's taking some advantage of the corner or the verges of the track there, but that's all legal, nothing wrong with that. And now he goes into turn 4, heads up through turn 5 towards that turn 6 right-hander. He's getting close now. That's 1.5 seconds. That he's closing this gap really quickly now, Bill.
He is definitely getting there. This is a good battle. Looking at Blythe running in 5th. Hackerson back in the mix. You know, let's go ahead to 16th position real quick. We'll just update you here. David Miller, remember he was in that battle with Wayne Taylor. Well, Miller finally got around him, so give 16th position to Miller now. Taylor back to 17th.
Yep. And in front of him, there's a couple of cars that he can aim for. The one directly in front of him is Mark Simon. So he can aim to try and get that position. But let's get back to that battle with Simon Fagel. 1.5, 1.4 seconds the gap now to Blake Neck.
This continues to be the best battle on the track. And it's really gonna heat up when Fagel gets there, and he's coming.
That's correct. Now, it looks, if you just join the broadcast, it looks as if the 4 in front of Fagel are battling hard, but that's not the case. They've been in that configuration for, 20 laps, if not more. But now Fagel is coming up, and Fagel had his problems early in the race around lap 2, lap 3, and he's been coming back from way back 16th position or worse, and he's now in 8th position, and he's got his eye on these 4 cars. He's faster than all 4 of them by virtue of the fact that he's caught up from something like 5 seconds, 6 seconds back to where he is right now, 1 second back.
Yeah, I don't think Fagel got the office memo that said we're just going to take it easy until the pit stops, because he's there now. So we'll see. First up is Blake Neck.
Significantly, Bill, it's his teammate, Zachary Hanlon, who's leading the pack in front of him. So he wants to get with his teammate so they can have those 2 Logitech cars next to each other. I think that's the aim to start with. And if he can get that done, remember we've just passed the halfway mark, 42 minutes left in the race now. Halfway mark, so drivers who want to go in and take tires will be thinking about that strategy right now. I personally, I think they're just going to run all the fuel out and then come in and take fuel and get back out there again. I think you can do it on one set of tires. We've seen that happen in the other races, so they can do it.
Interesting enough, Blythe also has Logitech on his car, even though he's not the right color. And now Hanlon had a little bit of an issue as he went wide.
Yeah. It's on.
Here it comes. This is looking to the inside. This is Blythe. Not going to force the issue. And again, there's Logitech. Not quite as large on the Blythe car as it is on the Hanlon car, but probably those 2 guys do not want to take each other out.
Yes, indeed. And they have got Hackerson sitting behind them, just looking for any mistake so that he can take that position. And of course, Blake Neck, who was 2 spots further up, he is looking as well. And there comes Fagel. Fagel's passed Blake Neck by the looks of it. Boom. He has passed Blake Neck, so he's moved up to 7th place now. Blake Neck gave up that position rather tamely, but I mean, the writing was on the wall. In fact, that Simon Fagel was coming for the last 10 laps or so, and now he's made the pass. 3 to go before the pit stops, hopefully, for Simon Fagel.
That did happen fast. So now we'll see if Slavasi's been able to hang on there. He's also closing in as well. Back there in 9th. Not quite as fast as Fagel. We'll see if he can get that done. This is where the excitement is right now, folks. We're not missing anything anywhere else. We'll try to get in when we can. Hanlon has got himself a little bit of a gap now on Blythe after Blythe made a run on him. Hanlon, I guess, trying to pick it up a little bit. Well, Blythe coming back.
Okay, let's quickly go back to David Miller once again. He's caught up to Wayne Taylor. Wayne Taylor must have dropped back from Mark Simon because Mark Simon was the next car in line. So he's having a look there at Wayne Taylor. So we'll keep a half an eye on this battle here, which is becoming interesting as well.
Well, if I'm correct, did we say that I thought that Taylor that the pass was made, so I think something must have happened. I guess I'm wrong on that.
Taylor got back in front of him.
Yeah, I think Taylor got around him again. Yeah, sure enough. It was a couple laps ago. I went back to see the replay. I had closed the book once Miller, well, of course, it's David Miller. If there's going to be a battle, it's going to go on for more than one lap. So, yeah, Miller made the pass on Taylor. Taylor came back and got him back, so now they're at it still.
Okay, and so they're both of them trying to run down Mark Simon. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back to Fagel. Now, Fagel's in 7th position. He's right behind 6th position at the moment. And how exy is he going to be? Oh, he's very exy. He wants by straight away.
Yeah, he's got places to go right now because Fagel had visions of a podium spot. He's not happy where he is in 7th right now. That being said, here comes Neck. Has a good run, though.
Yeah, Neck is just following there. Neck backs it away, backs it out before turn 1, knowing that you don't want to go too wide into turn 1, very risky. But Simon Fagel, now he's been going very wide out of turn 2 and 3. Let's see what he does.
Hanlon taking a little trip to the Brazilian beach, I think. He was out there very wide.
You guys can't hear our director, of course, but I want to tell you the oohs and ahs that are coming out of our director.
Well, I was with him there. I didn't know didn't know where Hanlon was going. He's really pushing the envelope of the track boundaries right now. With apologies to the other cars on the track, this is really where we're going to stay for a little while. This is now a 6-car battle, as sure enough, or a 5-car battle.
Yeah, Bill, and this will only break up once they go into the pits, because at the moment Simon Fagel is right on. Well, all 5 are together, but Simon Fagel is been the big mover over the last couple of laps. He's now coming up there to turn 13 once again. Can he get the hammer down early and try and make a pass on Benjamin Hackerson? Is he close enough? Let's see. I don't think he's quite close enough yet. So these guys in front of him have responded, and they're saying, no, Simon, we are not just going to give it up for you. You caught us, but now you got to pass us. Oh, he's going for it. Going for it on Hackerson. Simon Fagel gets the pass done before turn 1. Has to brake really hard to get into turn 1, but he's got it done. That was a great move.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of getting half on talent, half the pass done on reputation. I think Benjamin said, all right, I know who Simon Fagel is. I'm going to let him go by. I want to recorrect myself here. I said this was a 6-car battle, then changed it back to 5. Nope, it is a 6-car battle. It's now the caboose. We talked about him, the sliver. Martin Salvazzi has gotten onto the back of Nick.
Yeah, that's correct. Martin has been keeping up with pretty well with Simon Fagel, following him, getting a little bit of draft here and there, but now he's got to make moves all by himself and make passes if he wants to move forward. The big thing is, Bill, with being so close to the pit stops, I don't think anybody besides Simon Fagel is willing to make anything, to do any risky move. As we see, look at Fagel. Look at Fagel, Bill. Let's get that on replay. That was just a great pass in a very awkward place.
He's got them all. You know, look at this one again as he just decided it was time to make the move. And he got around Riley Blythe. I think Blythe just gave him, I'm not sure if he just missed the apex, was pressured into it, missed his breaking point, but Fagel says, thank you very much. You're going to leave the door open. I'm going to walk through. Yeah. We got to look at this one. Finally, we get to go up front. The McLaren might be having tire problems right now. He could be wearing out as Piesnik is slowing down, as Gallon
that's
is
too
coming.
slow. Why so slow? Piesnik, is there a problem? No.
Yeah. Well, it could be tires, it could be traffic. As right now, no, Piesik back there running right now, trying to get around the slower car of O'Brien right now, the back marker. But Gallon has got around Philip Morton, so now Gallon is about, it's under 2 seconds.
Gotcha. Yep, so 1.7, 1.8 seconds at the moment. Yes, John Piesnik. I was confused by another McLaren there also, looking pretty much like John Piesnik, but it's catching, but we are getting close to pit stops as we see Piesnik going for, that's the slower car. That is, who is that? That is Brenton O'Brien being passed there by Piesnik, who is in second position, but he's 12 seconds back from Kenny Rogers, Joshua Rogers, the gambler. I'm following your lead.
Well, it is Joshua K. Rogers, and the K stands for Kenneth, which is close to Kenny, so of course he's the gambler for Kenny Rogers. Just want to mention, Pista came over the mic and gave a thank you, buddy, to Brenton O'Brien there for letting him by.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a back marker, P4, let's go.
Oh my goodness, we're going to go back to P4. Is it Fagel again? Yeah, he's got, my goodness, it did not take him long, Richard, when he got through there. He got around Hanlon, he got around Blythe, he got around Hackerson, he got around Deck, he got around Slavasi. We've seen him make this charge before. You know, he had the same issue at Lime Rock last time where he had that problem where he started up close, was running 18th by the time they finished the first lap. Well, he's got to do it again, man. Does not make his job easy, does it?
No, he does not, but to his credit, he can wheel that car when he needs to, and he's passed I'm presuming that is his teammate. They've got the same colors, and that was Zachary Hanlon. So the two of them together now, that will be a formidable pair. Everyone else behind them, I don't think they've got any chance of passing these guys now, not with Fagel and Hanlon together, if they can help each other. And no doubt they'll have a private radio channel that they'll be talking on as well.
We got to go to second position because the McLaren is slowing down, and I'm talking about John Feasnick. The gap is now 1.2 seconds. Gallon can smell the exhaust coming out of the back of that McLaren. Oh my goodness, as Feasnick is really struggling. Now it's down to half. It's like, well, we're not even going to give you his times anymore.
He tapped the brakes there. I think he tapped the brakes just because he was coming into turn 3 there. Now as they go, this is where it'll count. They're going to turn 4. There's a long run here uphill towards turn number 4. Let's see what happens here. The McLaren got a little bit more power down there. But Gallon is coming slowly but surely. I think that the Mercedes has a little more balance. That McLaren can get pretty loose after a longish run, as you see him closing right up now. And we know, Bill, that Gallon is not shy to make a move once he gets up close.
Now here's the thing. I don't think it's a matter of if, but when right now. So Gallon has plenty of time to take his time and find the right place to do it. There's still a pit stop to come. I'm not sure it's going to happen pretty soon. We'll see how this plays out. I think the McLaren, you can just see. That car is all over the track right now.
Yeah, he's struggling to hold it, and Gallon is going to come. I think Feasnick will probably... Feasnick defends. That's a defensive run there. And is he going to the pits? No, he's going to defend the position.
Welcome to Interlagos. Is he going to the pits? Yeah, looks like they're going every time. So let's try it one more time. I think he's... The McLaren just won't slow down. It just won't turn for him. Feasnick is racing a yacht. What's he doing right now?
Yeah, he's not turning, he's tacking.
Yes, exactly. That McLaren just won't move for him. And unfortunately, he's gone past the point of no return. The reward for coming in for tires, there's not enough time for them to pay off. He's not going to make up the 20 seconds to take him. If he wanted tires, he needed to do it earlier. So he's just going to have to play defense. Let's stay on this for a while because you're looking at a guy, a really talented driver, driving a car that is not dancing very well.
Now, Bill, the last time we saw Feasnick in the race, he was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was in the Ford.
Right.
They were driving, I think it was round 1 or might have been just round 1 or round 2, and he's chosen the McLaren. I wonder if he's starting to regret that, because certainly the Mercedes looks a heck of a lot more balanced and handleable, if there's such a word, in the hands of Paul Gallon than does that Mercedes in a good driver like Feasnick.
Well, you're talking racecraft, though. There's nobody better at it than John Feasnick. So this will be fun to watch as he does his best to play defense on a very aggressive driver of Paulo Gallon.
But Bill, he does get away in that run to turn 1.
Sure does.
So there's a bit more power there in the McLaren. So all he's got to do is keep in front in the twisty bits. Look at him streak away. Look at that. That is power from the McLaren. We know the McLaren has got oodles of power.
That's the problem for the Mercedes right now, is it's faster through the twisty sections. Well, that's all fine and good unless you're trying to follow a car. It means you got to make the pass through that, and that's the hardest place to make the pass. Excuse me. The easiest place to make the pass is down the straight, and that's where the McLaren excels. So, yeah, Gallon's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure. But let's give him a tip of the hat to Paulo there. Luis Paulo taking his time. We said, you got plenty of time to do it. He's rebreathing, he's sitting back, make another run at it here in a minute.
All right, well, keep an eye on that. I want to go and have another look at the Fagel, Hanlon, Blythe situation. Hackerson, P12. So we get, there's somebody off there.
We had, our director was calling for P12. He got fooled by the pit stop as well.
Nathan Grouded heading into the pits. This is a regulation pit stop. So he's one of the few that have done, he's the first one to do a regulation pit stop by the looks of it, Bill.
Yeah, I would say running in 13th position right now where he came in at. He's the first guy, a legitimate racer up there.
Okay, let's go back to 8th position where we see, 9th position really, which is Martin Silvasi. These guys have still stayed in that formation. with the exception of Simon Fagel, who's opened up a 1.5 second gap on his teammate Zachary Hanlon. So Simon trying to get some space between him and these four before the pit stops. And we've got 27 minutes to go in the race. And remember, we were trying to figure out when they were going to do the pit stops, and it came down to, at Silverstone I'm talking about, around about 20 minutes left in the race before we saw everyone heading in for pit stops.
Well, Groudon rolling, he took a 53-second stop. I think he took tires. Not sure if he's going to enjoy that strategy.
Yeah, who was that? That was
Groudon came in.
Groudon, yep.
Yeah. So our leader of all the cars who have pitted is Darren McKenzie, but he's on a 32-lap stint, so he may have had to come in early. I'm not sure if he can go the distance from when he came in. He may have another stop in his future.
Well, I want to have a look at our leader, Joshua Rogers, just to get a sense of how he's traveling. Is the car still handling well for him? He's, of course, in the Audi. He's got a massive 17.5 second gap. If anyone can afford to take a couple of, four tires, it's him.
Okay,
He looks
second
very smooth.
Second and third, as we look there at Roger, second and third continue to stay out. And I'll be honest, I really thought Gallon was going to get Peastick by now. Peastick has done a good job of fending him off. I'm not so sure.
Rich,
I'm not.
got
Go
loose.
ahead.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I think maybe he just got loose for a couple of laps and then got it all together again and said, "There's nothing like a car, somebody coming up on you for you to get your act together." Sometimes you can't, of course.
Maybe also Gallon might have heated up the tires a bit, working so hard to get around him. Maybe he just took a couple laps off, see if he could let them be a little happier, because now he's back on him again.
Well, here's something interesting, Bill. So let's just speculate a little bit. So Louise Gallon, John Peasnick, and Rogers up in front, right? The gap is 37 seconds to Simon Fagel. Let's say those three in front decide, or at least one of them, say Gallon, for instance, decide, okay, I need fresh tires. That's going to put Fagel, if he doesn't take tires, right on him. So then you'll have fresh tires versus old tires. Who would you bet on? I would be betting on Gallon with the fresh tires.
Yeah,
Fagel.
I would think so as well, but I don't think Gallon's going to be able to do that because he can't afford to give up the time to Peastick, because I don't think Peastick is going to take tires. I think Fagel. I think
one that we feel should take time.
Yeah, I do. I think Gallon has visions of second place here. I think maybe Luis is going to say, I'm going to wait to see how things play out after the pit stop and make the move there. Oh, I know, or right now. Then or right now. I think he just sat back there and said eventually Peastick is going to make a mistake. You can't keep that yacht on the track, and sure enough. So let's give the position to Gallon. Peastick drops back to third. Nice job, Luis Paulo Gallon. Just taking his time, waiting for the opportunity, gets the pass done.
Yes, well, that's the way to do it. Just wait for the opportunity to present itself. So now, surely Peastick must be thinking, I'm struggling. I better get into the pits. We only have 24 minutes left. If you went in a lap or two early, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to go right to the end of your pit window, even though you'll put the least fuel in. There's no difference in putting it in now. You're going to take the same amount of fuel to finish if you do it now, as opposed to doing it 4 minutes down the track, you know?
Neck in and out with a 17-second stop. Did not take tires. Is going to cycle out in, it looks like, 10th position. He's
Nice.
the leader of all the cars who have pitted.
And Winkleman's done the same. Winkleman with also 14.82 seconds. So it's pretty much the same as Blake Nick. So they are on the same strategy. Mark Simon, Wayne Taylor in as well. So now we are in the pit stop cycle.
We'll keep an eye on Taylor and see how he comes out in relationship to David Miller. Remember, they were in that battle together.
Yes.
Okay, here comes the McLaren. Has decided to come in and get some fuel.
Now, all eyes on Joshua Rogers, our leader. What will he do? I think he might decide. They're in the same type of car. No, McLaren versus Audi. Sorry.
Waiting for Peacenik. Boy, he's in there for a while. I think he's
tires.
taking tires. Oh, he couldn't live with it you couldn't live with it, John, for another 20 minutes? He's saying, Soup, you get out here and drive the car. All right, I understand. Okay,
How do
now
they,
we're thinking,
is it side by side or left or backs and fronts?
I think it's, I don't know. I think, well, it's one at a time, so I guess you could take them whatever order you wanted.
Okay.
They do them one at a time, so he was in there for 30 seconds. That's kind of in between. That may just be a 2-tire stop.
Yes, because 50 seconds is a 4-tire stop.
And 16 to 18 seconds is a
Rogers
no-tire
in?
stop, yeah. All right, here comes Kenny Rogers. Sorry. Let's use his real first name, Joshua Rogers.
Now Gallen will take the lead momentarily. So the gap was about 19 seconds. No, Gallen's coming in as well. This is interesting. Let's keep our camera on Rogers. I want to see if he's going to take tires. The jack's going up. They don't go up very high, these jacks.
No, it is really hard to tell.
No tires.
Yeah, he's
no
rolling.
tires.
16 seconds.
And Simon Fagel's in, Hanlon's in, Blythe is in, Atkinson stays out.
Yeah, pit party now.
Silvasi stays out.
We'll see what Gallen does. Gallen has a little time to play with if he's paying attention. He knows that Peacenik took tires. He can afford to take 2 if he wants.
Well, Gallen is out already.
Gallen is rolling, yeah, at 14 seconds. He did not take tires, so he's going to come out certainly ahead of Peacenik.
Well, that's the fastest pit stop so far on my timing and scoring 11.85 seconds in the pit stall. So that's really fast.
So the question is Peacenik, and I think Peacenik could be close. Fagel is about 3 seconds behind. You know, Richard, you were pretty smart there. We talked about what would happen if Gallen or Peacenik decided to take tires. Well, they did. So now it's 3.3 seconds from Peacenik back to Fagel.
That's correct. And Fagel has done his pit stop.
Right.
Has not taken tires. So
and we think Peacenik has 2, yeah.
And Peacenik has 2, yes. So this is going to be the battle against somebody who's taken some tires and one who has not. But having said that, Simon Fagel in that Audi looked very, very comfortable. A lot more comfortable than Peacenik towards the end of the stint in the McLaren there.
And let's report how they cycled out. Hanlon is running. I'm not going to give you his real position. Well, actually, I think I can because everyone knows there's some guys who hasn't pitted yet. Hanlon is running ahead of Blythe, and Neck is behind them. The guys who are in that hunt, Hakkisen and Slavasi, have not come in. And now they're in. So this will be fun, Richard, to watch and see how Hakkisen and Slavasi come out.
Interesting. Only a couple of guys have not pitted. That George Johnson's one of them. And the other one's Brenton O'Brien. They've not made a pit stop yet. So everyone else, pit stop's done. Now we can go and battle to the end. And let's see how many minutes left in the race. 19 minutes. So it's a sprint race now.
Hakkisen rolling. Now this is going to be interesting. We look at Hakkisen. He's going to come out real close. Blythe is going to get around him. Hanlon's going to go. This is real close. This is Blythe. I love this pit exit here. You can see Blythe on the outside is going to get the spot. That's Hanlon up in front. And Slavasi is going to tuck back in behind these guys. So Slavasi tucks in. Hakkisen is out in front of all these guys. Hakkisen out in front of Hanlon. Well, look at this. This is big news. Hakkisen in front of Hanlon.
Very good. Hakkisen was, of course, trailing that for the big 4, which was 5 at one stage, 6 actually. So now we've got Hanlon, Blythe, Hakkisen out in front of them. Silvasi's in there. He's past Blake Neck by the looks of things.
Hakkisen 2 seconds faster in the box than Hanlon, so that's why he's out there. Then we always ask, we can do the same question we always ask, did he take enough fuel?
Bill, I think that taking the tires is going to work for Peacenik. He is not streaking away, but getting away from Simon Fagel, who did not take tires. 4 seconds between Peacenik and Gallen. Gallen did not take tires. This is no, I'm wrong. Pisnik in between Gallon 13 seconds. My apologies.
Now, we got 18 minutes to go, and Pisnik was a second faster last lap than Gallant. Let's see if those two tires, that might have been the breaking point, but Pisnik may have done the math and said, I'm going to be fast enough on 2 tires. 4 tires not going to make it up, maybe 2 tires enough. So we'll watch the interval. It's 13.1 seconds right now with 18 minutes to go. Slow Johnson coming in. He's probably the last car to make that pit stop.
Brendan O'Brien, I think, still has to make his, but he may have been. No, well, he's got no pit stops. He hasn't been in at all. So he'll be the last one, but he's not a factor in the race. I'm fascinated by this tactic here of Pisnik taking those, I'm guessing, the right side tires on the outside. This is going to work in his favor, I think. It remains to be seen. But, 14 seconds lost to these guys. Even if he doesn't get right up there, he's going to get enough points from this to perhaps advance his case.
Yeah, think about Pisnik. If you take those right side tires, that's going to be the most important corner, is that final corner where the right sides needs to have the grip to lead you onto the straightaway. That's where you can pick up all your speed, and then the big sweeping first corner, maybe it's going to work out. Let's see that interval. If it's coming down at all, 12 and a half seconds.
Oh, interesting. So 12. How many minutes left did we say? 16 minutes left. 12 and a half seconds. Going to be close if he can keep it up. But the tires will go away and the gaps will get smaller and smaller. Or the gains will get smaller and smaller as the laps wind down. Gallant, of course, will see this in his relative screen as well and know that this is happening. So let's see if he can respond. I'm going to go and have a look at him now.
And how about manufacturers? Audi out in front, Mercedes in second, which we didn't think would be very competitive, and then the McLaren in third. Gotta love that.
And of course, our leader of the championship thus far, Simon Fagel, also in an Audi. He's 6 seconds behind Pisnik, so we are thinking that he's the loser out of this because Pisnik is moving away from him. There was 4 seconds roughly when they started out of the pits, and now it's 6 seconds. So big mover is John Pisnik. Gamble on taking perhaps 2 right side tires, and it might work out for him. Meanwhile, let's go look at some battles, Bill. Well, Hanlon and Hackerson.
Yeah, now remember, Hanlon's going to be faster than Hackerson. There's no doubt about it. The only reason Hackerson's not there is because of the work that his pit crew did. So let's see if Hanlon can run him down. Don't get confused. Hanlon in basically a mirror image of the car that Fagel is running.
Yep, they have the same sponsor, and that sponsor is indeed Logitech. He's right up there as they're going to turn 1. Out of turn 2, a little bit of extra power coming from Hackerson, but it's the same car, so I think it was just Hanlon just backing up a little bit more than he might have, and he's closing back up again.
Let's go back to 7th position. This is Blythe and the Sliver, and the Sliver trying to find a place to stick it right now as he's trying to go around Blythe. No room there. This is Slavasi in 8th position, looking for somewhere to go on Riley Blythe, and Slavasi is really hungry, much more aggressive than what we were seeing Hanlon on Hackerson right now. This is something to keep an eye on.
Yes, indeed, and we know that Martin Slavasi is not afraid to put his nose in if he thinks he can get away with it. And Slavasi at this point in time chasing down. Who is he chasing down? That is Riley Blythe that we've got in front of him. Riley had a few problems early. We saw him in a half spin or involved with touching some cars. And he's looking behind him thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want Martin behind me. Give me someone else, please. This guy's going to get me.
Now here it is. If you can get a run, they're coming around. They're full throttle. It looks like Slavasi's a little far back. Let's see if he can get in the tow. I think he's a little late getting there. Not sure he's going to be able to get him this lap as you see them head down as if they're going into pit lane. All Audis here. Blythe, Slavasi, and Neck. Not going to happen this time. We can report that the car's up ahead. Oh, that was a lap car. Simon Massamo did a good job of getting off. It scared me there for a minute as Hackison and Hanlon went by. I went to take a peek, and all Simon was doing was getting out of the way.
I saw the orange wheels, and I realized that he was the back marker, Simon Mazzamo, and did a good job getting out of the way there. Okay, so the gap now. John Peasnick versus Louise Gallen. 10 seconds. How many minutes left? 12 minutes. Enough time.
He's coming.
But he's got to do it a second a lap, Bill. That's a big ask.
Well, it depends how Gallen's car, if that car's going away from him or if it's just going to settle down. The tires are shot, so the Gallen's car is horrible. It's a matter of if it stays horrible or if it becomes just ridiculously horrible. Let's go to 10th position right now. There are battles everywhere. This is Warren Ice Pickering trying to fend off Anthony Winkleman. Remember, Winkleman is fast. He's trying to find his way around after a spin. So many battles going on. One of the best races we've had in the IDA right now. So many places.
Yeah, it's you're right, Bill. It's such a tactical race, these races, 90-minute races. They qualifies as an endurance race. So I'm just scanning down here. Simon Fagel is not going to improve his position, I don't think, because he's falling back from Peasnick. Peasnick is the one we're watching. It's 9 seconds, 9.9 seconds now.
Let's go to 7th. Here we go. Oh, there's all over the place. As I'm yelling for 7th, Hackison has had an issue.
Let's have a look at the replay, because Hackison went back really quickly.
See, Hackison ended up in the beach, and I think the suggestion to go there was from Zachary Hanlon. I'm not a member of the IRT, but I think some penalty points are going to be coming to Zachary on that one.
Okay, Zachary Hanlon. Now, I'm not even going to comment on that. We'll leave that to the IRT, as you said. Benjamin Atkinson will have in mind that he's still there. I mean, he's still in that group, but he's fallen back now. So in front of Benjamin is Martin Silvasi now. These guys have all passed him. He's got a ways to get. Sorry, go ahead, Bill.
This group is incredible. They just not. Yeah, after getting punted, Hackison, you think, well, that's it for him. Nope. I'm back in the mix here. I'm going to start to get around Silvasi and Neck and Blight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a great battle. It will not go away. What a great recovery from Hackison.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's been going on all race long. And here we are. We've got 10 minutes to go in the race. We've got John Peasnick, who's kind of running out of steam now. I don't think he's going to catch Gallen before the race ends, Bill. Because even though it's not 1 second anymore, it's now half a second. He's still coming, but the rate of gain has slowed down as the tires go away slowly but surely.
We're probably not going to be able to get to show you much long-term battles right now, as there is action all over the place. We'll stay with stuff as long as we can, but we don't need to go there. But there's a battle between Pickering and Wilkerman that we're going to look at. A lot of stuff we're trying to put closing numbers on.
Well, the best battle here is indeed 9th, 8th, 7th, and 6th, and even 5th place. They are so close together, with Blake Neck on Riley Blythe being the closest. Can he make a move before? I think they're all waiting for that last couple of laps. They are going to be moves, Bill. I can feel it.
Stay on this battle. I'll just report audibly here that, remember, David Miller was in that battle with Wayne Taylor the whole race. Well, after the pit stops, Miller's back out in front by 0.7 of a second. That battle continues for the entire 90 minutes. Look at this.
That was a back marker. That is Brendan O'Brien that they're all passing at the moment. Now, I thought there was a battle for position, but no. And here comes Atkinson on Silvasi. Atkinson having a look there. He can see the slower car, and he loses.
Oh, he lost it.
7. He's going to lose it, and he's going to have to do it all over again. And that really is the race for him. I don't think he can come back from that.
You can only do that so many times, Benjamin, before you're not part of the battle anymore. I think a little bit there, seeing a little bit on tilt, I think, from Benjamin Hackison as he drops back to 9th. Let's report that Winkleman has made it up to 10th. Now, he was in that battle with Pickering. I guess that is over. So Winkleman up to 10th. Fagel comfortably in 4th position. Hamlin comfortably in 5th, so it's down to, now we're down to Blythe, Neck, and Slavasi.
8 minutes, 8.2 seconds now. He's not going to make it.
Pickering has had an issue. You know, it could be a matter of the tires just beginning to give up on all these guys. Pickering had a self-spin.
Well, you got to say, Bill, 90 minutes is a long time to go on one set of tires.
Especially when you're, it's not like you're just trying to bring it home after 90 minutes. You're really, this is when the racing picks up, And you're asking the car to do stuff, and it just doesn't want to do it for anymore. Well,
that car looks beautiful.
Not trying to bring it home. The only guy trying to bring it home right now is Joshua Rogers. Woo, what a race from him. He will have no understanding of how exciting this race was. This is for him just a nice Saturday drive.
He's done a fantastic. This race is a wire-to-wire job. There's no question.
And the class of the field.
And let's not take anything away from Gallen. Gallen has done a magnificent job as well. John Piesnik, after having a few issues early on, has come back brilliantly. 7.9 seconds, the only one to take tires.
Let's go to 5th real quick. I thought Hamlin was safe, but I spoke too soon. Here he comes, making a move on the inside. This is Riley Blythe.
Oh, yes, indeed. And on the inside, that's turn number 4. They go side by side. Right, Hamlin's on the outside now. He's got the preferred line for the turn number 6 there. And he goes in deep, and he's going to go side by side. Blythe hangs on the outside there, but he's got to give it up surely as they go into the tight section of the course now. Look at that black line. Now he's got the preferred position. This is tight, very tight. Try and go side by side with these big heavy cars through the tightest section of the course, Bill, and they're handling, and there's somebody else coming up behind.
That's Neck.
Blythe now.
Sticking his neck in is Blake Neck.
The long neck, Blake Neck comes, and it's 3 cars. There are only 5 minutes left. We could possibly 3 laps left in this race. And now it's down to the wire. Let's do it, they are saying to each other. You've got Blake Neck saying, can I make it here? They go through these first. They're heading towards turn 1. Can it be 3 wide going into turn 1? Currently it is 2 wide with Blythe out front. Hamlin has to give it up. And now Neck has a look, but he's not close enough as we see the 2 others streak away. But Blythe did make the position.
Great run, powered it through on the outside. I don't think Hamlin is done as he drops back into 6th. Neck, and then Neck is not done after being right up there watching the whole thing. Slavasi looking for a way around Neck. A great 4-car battle. The only one missing is Hackison.
I was just going to say, don't discount Slavasi. If he can see a gap or the other 2 battle too hard and make a mistake, he'll be right there. But currently, the 2 in front, we are talking about Hamlin and Neck. These are the 2 battling the hardest at the moment. They are really, really close to each other, and they are fighting for every inch of track at the moment.
11 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, so close. Blake Neck also in there on Hamlin trying to get back to Riley Blythe. Blythe now putting the power down, coming out of 13. And he is ahead, but can he hold on?
Good run.
2 laps to go, perhaps.
Good run from Hamlin this time. Now let's see if Blythe protects the inside and makes Hamlin go around the high side. That's how I had to do it. That's what Blythe says. I had to do it on the outside. You tried to do it on the outside. And said, okay, if you're going to force on the outside, Neck says, I'll get in to see if I can get this spot. Neck and Hamlin side by side. Neck's going to have the momentum. Can he close the deal? No, look at that blue and black Logitech machine. Get the power down on the outside. They touch, they bang. They are still Cialis bathtubs as they head into the right-hander. The preferred position is going to be for Neck, but he has to back out. Hamlin gets the spot up into 6th. Woo!
That was hard racing. That was hard racing.
Here comes Slavasi.
After 90 minutes, Slavasi now looking. He's on the outside though. He Joshua trying to get on the inside. There's defense there from Blake Nick. Blake Nick so close to taking that position in front of him. He's in 7th position. He was trying to get for 6th position. And I think possibly Riley Blythe might be safe now. Or is anyone safe in this race, in this little pack here?
With 3 minutes to go, Gallon's gap now is down to 5.1. Well, it's down to 5.0. Well, it's down to 4.9. Well, it's down to 4.8. I don't know, 4.7. I don't know if he can get there in 2.5 minutes, but it's coming down.
Yeah, that's John Piesnik we're talking about. He's absolutely trying to make every corner a straight and doing a magnificent job. He's the only one that's taken some tires of the top 15 or so. And but back to this battle here. Blake Nick now fallen off a little bit. In front of him, the battle is raging. Zachary Hanlon, Riley Blythe fighting every inch of the way. They are I'm going to guess that this might be the second last lap. Actually, we need to look at the leader for that. The leader is way ahead of these guys.
These guys are still going at it. I'm starting to worry, though. You can only dance the tango so long in a china shop before you break some porcelain. And I think that could happen here. Blythe and Hanlon have been going at it. All 4 of these guys have been battling for almost 90 minutes. Look at this Hanlon trying to find a way around Blythe right now as we ride on board with Zachary.
He's not going to get the white flag, Joshua Rogers. So this will be the second last lap for Rogers. There's 1 minute 40 on the clock. He just squeezed over the line before a lap, a single lap time was left. So now he's got to finish this lap and then do the last lap. So the others have 2 laps to battle still to try and make a position.
As they come around here, we're watching now. They work through here. Now this is the position that Hanlon wants to be in. He wants to get a good drive off this corner. Starting to pull away his Blythe, but not far enough to get out of the toe. Now the question is, will Blythe surrender the inside or surrender the outside? Let's see. I think he's going to protect the inside.
He feels he's got enough space to take the normal line. Here comes Hanlon. Hanlon's not close enough to do any sort of attack. He will have another opportunity because this is not the last lap just yet.
And that was bad news for Neck, who was hoping they'd get together, give him a chance to get in that mix as well. So they will get one more chance at that first corner. They'll see it one more time. 36 seconds to go on the clock.
What an exciting finish to this race. And these guys have provided excitement through the whole 90 minutes, these 4-5 drivers. Martin Silvasi a little way off the pace right now, so he has, I don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough to try and make an attempt at a pass. The big 3 here is, of course, Neck. Can he get close enough to these other 2 because the last lap board is out for our leader, Joshua K. Rogers.
They come now, we follow here, we continue. We look there at our leader. We can report that Gallon and Piesnik and Fagel look comfortable in their spots, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now here comes the important corner, and the important corner for both these guys wanting to get a good run off there is Hanlon. I think he's a little better this time than he was last time. He's only about 2 car lengths back. I think he should be able to get the toe. Now, this is going to be their last chance into corner number 1. Let's see if Blythe protects the inside or protects the outside. I think Hanlon has a run this time. He'll take whatever Blythe leaves him. Blythe is going to try to take his part out of the middle, and it kind of confused. Hanlon could not make a run on him. So now, Richard, we're seeing Piesnik. Piesnik is off. Piesnik running in 3rd is off. He got into it with a back marker. We'll get that later in the race.
Oh dear.
He got into it with Groden. Rogers coming around the final corner now. We have Blythe as that issue. We're going to get all of this when we come back after break. We'll run these all down. But right now we can report one thing for certain, and that is the winner of round number 4 of the IDA GT3 World Championship goes to Joshua Kenneth Rogers. Luis Paulo Galan is going to get 2nd. Now we're going to go back to P5 position and see how this thing plays out.
Dear, oh dear. This is excitement plus, Bill.
We're
Go
looking.
ahead.
We're looking at Hanlon and Slavasi. Hanlon now. Slavasi trying to make the move on the outside. They have the left-hander coming in. Hanlon finally has position on this one. Looks like he's got it locked up. Blythe is nowhere to be found. We'll find out what happened to Blythe later, and we'll see if Neck is in the picture. Neck is out in front of both of these guys. So Neck is going to come across, if I do my calculations right, is this going to be fourth position for Blake Neck?
Well, no.
Yeah. I think he's
No,
going to finish ahead of
no.
Peacenik. He's going to fall right behind.
Flag is gone already. Peacenik, there it is. You're right. Sorry. Peacenik now dropping like a stone.
All right. We're going to take a breath here and see what we can see. First, we're going to look at Peacenik's issue. He got into it with Groden, a back marker.
Still dropping. Wow.
We'll see if we can find it. Now he's just trying, oh my goodness. It looks like, I don't want to misidentify him. I thought it was Groden. I'm pretty comfortable it was. And it looks like he just moved over into Peacenik. I'm not sure why.
Let's have another look at that.
Peacenik holding his line. Oh, you could call that either way. Maybe Peacenik started to ease into him. The point is, I'm not sure why it had to be that close from either one of them.
Well, you've got to line up for turn 4, which is a very fast left-hander. Let's have another look if we can. Oh, no, we've gone out that one. We're on...
I guess we want to look for Blythe, see if we can figure out what happened to Blythe. Oh, he got punted, and that looks like, you know what? That looks like the blue and black car of, I don't want to misidentify guys. They look the same, but I think that was Hanlon.
That's the teammate of Fagel.
And if that is Hanlon, is that not the second one of those? I think there was another punt earlier from him. He needs to sign up for Australian rules football because he's got quite a foot on him.
Well, the IRT will have a busy time. There's all those incidents that took place early on in the race, and now these few towards the back end here as well.
Just to recap what that meant before we go to break. So you had Peacenik running in third position. He dropped out of the top spot. Then you had Hanlon get together with Blythe. They both dropped out of it. That allowed Blake Neck, who was just minding his own business, to get fourth position. Hanlon and Slavasi get fifth and sixth. Blythe gets seventh. We'll come back and run down the entire field. What a great race. Congratulations to Joshua Rogers, the winner. Globus Racing Channel back in just a few. welcome back to the Globe Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the iRacing Drivers Association GT3 World Championship, round number 4 from Interlagos in Brazil. Boy, while for a wire-to-wire race, that was about as exciting as you could get. Joshua Rogers brings it home in first, and we talked about it. He picks up, I believe, the first driver to pick up 2 checker flags this season. Luis Paulo Gallant comes home in second place. Simon Fagel, after having an incident on lap 2, I know sometimes the Tooth Fairy doesn't deliver. I know I promised you that incident between Fagel and Hamilton and Winkleman. We're not able to go back that far. Our technology won't let us do that. Fagel gets third position. Blake Neck sits back, watches all the excitement, watches everybody fall out of the way, picks up a 4th finish. Great job from him. Zachary Hanlon brings home 5th. Not sure if he made a bunch of friends during the race. The Sliver, Martin Slavasi in 6th position. Riley Blythe in 7th. Benjamin Hackison, you can only spin it so many times before you lose touch with the guys you're racing with. Great race, though, from him in 8th position. Anthony Winkleman, again, caught up in that second lap incident, able to run all the way back to 9th position. And the ice pick, Warren Pickering in 10th. Richard?
And now we go to the drivers who were laps down. John Piesnik, after magnificent recovery from early problems and getting into 3rd place, had an incident with a back marker and fell into 11th place. George Johnson, good run from George, the only Ford in the race, got 12th place, sorry. Then Clint Shane Smith, our league organizer, in 13th place. Darren McKenzie in 14th place. David Miller in 15th place. Nathan Groden in 16th place. Wayne Taylor, 17th place. Paul Lonergan in 18th. 19th place by Mark Simon, and bringing up to 20th place, Daryl Carter.
Hidden Blackjack is Brenton O'Brien. Philip Morton in 22nd. 23rd and 24th goes to Joel Petrowski and Simon Mizomo. Jason Scuzzy in the quarter century mark. Daryl Huxham. Joshua Haddon. Gary Hamilton in 28th and 29th position goes to Richard Hamstead. Just a little public service announcement. Remember that GSRC does this for entertainment purposes only. Richard and I are paid to make judgment calls here, so we're doing it with one eye on the action and one eye trying to watch the replay. By no means do we want to influence the IRT's job. We just call them as we see them, but that doesn't mean that we get it right. Let's go ahead and do some interviews right now. Let's see if we can bring in, do we have, well, we don't have our race winner. How about, Richard, you want to talk with Simon Fagel, who had that great charge through the field?
Yeah, let's do that. Simon, you got a copy?
Yes, I'm here. Yep.
Good on you. Simon, so from a few early problems, just tell us about what happened there. I think it was around lap 2 when you had some dramas. But then you moved through the field and did a fantastic job to get your 3rd place there. So just tell us about that early incident and then your move through the field.
Yeah, it was a fairly safe start. I kind of just wanted to keep on to the train. I didn't really feel like I had the pace tonight. And it was fairly safe. But I think got a bit jostled up ahead with Louis making a move on Josh, and then and Richard took a move up the inside of Anthony, which just didn't quite work out for him, which meant that it was contact made. And so I went up the inside to avoid, but just unfortunately clipped the curb so much in a way that it ended up pogoing the car just completely out of control. So didn't have any damage, but I lost a heap of positions and reversed at one point, so lost a lot of time. And from then on, it was it was just a case of just kind of utilizing my pace to get as high as possible that I could get. And I mean, to get 3rd in the end, I mean, obviously John was a bit unfortunate on the last lap, but to get 3rd was absolute damage limitation. It's back-to-back rounds in a row for that, so I need to get out of this habit, but must make for good television.
Certainly, when you were making your run, coming through that 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th positions, there were some pretty exciting moments there, no doubt. And it was a little bit of a bonus for you to see John Piesnik fall away, because John Piesnik, he was the only one of all the top 15 guys who took a couple of tires. I'm assuming you took right side tires, and he was actually getting away from you. There was at one point we thought you were going to catch him, but then he got away from you due to the fact that he had those fresher tires on the outside. But then all of a sudden he falls away, and you get a podium spot. Great run.
Yeah, no, it was very fortunate for me. I mean, I feel for John on that one. That was,
Sure.
I just had a look at it actually. It was never good to have an incident like that at the end. But yeah, no, it was. I guess that's the luck. You know, maybe it balanced out because I was certainly unlucky at the start with the early incident, but then kind of lucky to end up getting the podium. But yeah, do feel for John on that one. But yeah, it was a fun battle through the field, definitely. I think, you know, had the incident not happened, it would have been pretty close with Louis, maybe, the best case probably. So couldn't have really gone much better than where it would have ended up points wise anyway.
Yeah, and looking towards the championship here, you went in leading the championship. I'm guessing that podium spot might be enough to keep you up at the top, hey?
Yeah, well, I know with Richard having, I mean, he was obviously involved with that early spin, and then I know he had two other incidents after that, so ended up retiring very early. So he was my nearest competitor. So yeah, I think I've extended the lead in the championship now from what it was. So no, I mean it was a positive overall round for me points wise, but yeah, certainly don't like putting my car in these positions where I have to fight back through the field.
Hey, well, it's still a long way to go, but you got a couple of fingers on that $1,000.
Yeah, no, a little bit to go. Only about 9 months or whatever it is, but yeah, no, we'll see how we go.
All right. Well, look, congrats on a great race. This was a very exciting one from a commentator's point of view. You guys put on a great show for us and for the viewers. So thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you at the next round.
No worries. Thanks again. Yeah, round 4 down. Fourth different car for me as well. So who knows what we'll bring to the 5th round. Maybe the McLaren will come out, but we'll see how we go. Thanks to the broadcast, guys.
No worries. Back to you, Bill.
Simon Fagel, your third place finisher today. We don't have our winner. The gambler must be counting the chips while he's sitting at the table. So let's bring in Louis Gallen, who had a nice second place finish. Didn't get the win like he did last round. Louis, the first 100 yards of your race didn't look so good.
Hi, hello guys. Yeah, no, thank you very much for No, man, at the beginning of the race, I wasn't quite getting my apex right. I made like some mistakes, and yeah, Josh and John, yeah, they just drove away from me. But yeah, I tried to put my head in place, try to concentrate, and then I'm so happy with Stanko. Yeah.
Now let's take you through to about right before the pit stops. You get in behind Peacenik. Could you tell from watching, because we could sure tell from looking from the booth, that McLaren of him was skating all over the track?
Yeah, no, I knew from the beginning the McLaren wouldn't last as long as the Mercon tires. And when I start catching John, I say, man, I gotta make the move and then, try to stick. And yeah, I did it. I'm happy.
Yeah, it looks like you take a couple shots, then you backed off a bit, and then basically just waited him pretty much the McLaren couldn't, and you just waited for him to make that mistake.
Yeah, man, the McLaren is so powerful on the straights. He was pulling like half a second from me, and then but he was the tires were all dead, so I was trying just to stay with him. He made a mistake, and then I got the pass.
And then he took two after the pit stop, and he had some good times. Were you just minding the gap, or was he coming on you? Were you racing hard at the end?
Yeah, no, I was worried he was gonna catch me, but then I saw he was like 10 seconds away from me with like 9 or 10 laps to go. I said, man, oh, come on, he won't like take 1 second per lap from me. So I was trying just to place my car right, and then I'm here with second place.
Well, look, here's the deal. There's some 1,000 Australian dollars on the line when we get to end of this. You finished ahead of the point leader, so you're going to gain a little distance there. So good luck as the season goes on.
Yeah, man, thank you very much. As I said last week, it's a long season. Still like 15 or 16 like rounds to go. But yeah, the thing is, you got to score every round, stay with the leaders, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
There you go, Richard. I'll turn to you. You can hear the celebrations that the horns are going off for Louis Gallen there. Congratulations. Richard, who's next?
Well, we're going to bring Ben Hackerson into the booth and have a chat to him about his race. Ben, you got a copy?
Hello.
Mr. Hackerson, you guys put on quite a show for us here today. And that last few laps, I just want to go straight to those last few laps where you guys were battling hard for position there. And then you just saw it all slide away with a second last lap spin there for you.
Yeah, it was a shame. Up until that point, I thought I'd drove what for me was a perfect race, perfect plan. Just the only thing was I couldn't stick onto the back with Simon after the pit stop. Otherwise, I probably would have got away from them all.
Well, you all race long yourself, you and so sort of from about 4th to 8th position, there was this constant, not exactly a battle, but you guys were that close to each other, within a second of each other, all race long. And we knew that there would come a time towards the end of the race when you'd have to go for those positions. And you had some terrific battles in those last 10 or 15 laps or so. And then it just fell away right there, right at the end. But you came away with a 6th position. No, where were you? 8th position?
I think it was 8th in the end,
yeah. And obviously you're not all that happy with that. But personally, I think that was a good finish for a lot of hard driving over 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think I would have taken 8th before the race started, but at the time of the pit stops, I was aiming for 5th. So 3 positions and loads to lose, but it's 15 points as well. So I don't know how to feel about it right now.
Okay, well, don't feel too bad, my friend. It's a long, long season to go. We're on round number 4, and I think there's something like 17 rounds to go. So plenty of time to get a couple of fingers on that $1,000.
Yeah, I think I'm aiming for top 5 in the championship. The likes of John, Josh, and Lewis, I think are just going to be too quick for me to catch. But top 5 is, I think, a reasonable aim.
Well, there we go. I like confidence in a person. So good luck with that. And we will be seeing you at the next race, no doubt. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, Soup, back to you, my friend.
And one more shout out to Ben for some great pre-race information there they gave us. Made my job a lot easier. Thanks a lot for that. We'll take whatever we can get. Keep it coming. Hey, let's go ahead and thank everybody at the iRacing Drivers Association for organizing the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. If you're an iRacer and you'd like to be part of the action and have a chance at all the prizes, the IDA is still accepting applications at Private League Forum. Also, make sure you visit the guys at IDA and show your support. Facebook.com/iRacing Drivers Association. And big thanks to the good folks at This is Australia Migration Services, providing professional migration advice and visa service for anyone seeking to come to or stay in Australia. For expert advice and assistance with your Australian visa matters, contact them at thisisaustralia.com. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. How about the original music? Well, that is thanks to 2 guys, Eric Eckholm and Casey DeLon. See the screen for how to contact each of them and download some of their digital stuff. The iRacing Drivers Association GT3 World Championship Series returns in 3 weeks, March 18th, for round 5 when the series visits VIR, that's Virginia International Raceway. We hope you join us. For more information about GSRC, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Finally, on behalf of my Mike Make, the Australian sage Richard Losper, our director Dr. Ramjed, Amjed Yaman, and our camera artist, the one and only Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And now, that all the housekeeping is out of the way, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.